This is trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
I can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, you get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at the exact movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
With Academy, we've done with Prospect, and we will finally get to see which teams from the Challenger Division get to make a run into the playoffs. Later tonight as well, we will see which team will be joining the first seeds in the upper bracket. My name is Dispatch, and today I'm joined by the brilliant MGK.
Hey, hello everybody, welcome back. We're gonna have a brilliant game here today. I'm expecting, as always, that action that I'm always talking about. Now, are we gonna see more saves, more goals? We're gonna have to find out.
And the first game that we have in store for you guys is Ember versus Qantas. Ember, the 6th seed out of Ignis, and Qantas being the 5th seed out of Glacies. Two very similar teams in playstyle, actually, and I'll be very interested to see how this plays out.
Yeah, me as well. I'm really excited to see this game. I think it's gonna be a banger. We're gonna see exactly what I'm always craving to see. Can't wait to see them try their hardest to just advance through.
Absolutely, and as we know at this point with the play-ins format, this is the season on the line. They want to make it into playoffs. If they want to win the tier, they have an even harder run, but for both these teams, this is just the first stop in a long journey. But we should get into some team stats, have a look at how these teams match up together, and we spoke about them being 6th and 5th seed across conferences, but very equal records overall.
Yeah, that's right. We see here, there's not much of a difference. I gotta tell you, though, here we have Ember looking like they have more goals here, and more goals against as well. Saves we have here, they kind of get to an equal number. They're just some small differences. We see equal plays. Probably we're gonna see a real close game. We're gonna see a lot of pressure here. We're gonna feel it, the pressure ourselves, because I expect the games to be really close together, about just 0-0 or 1-1, and the last goal to come in the last minute or in overtime.
Both these teams rather infamous in the Challenger tier this season, as in the past week, I believe Brave had 14 scrim requests up this week, Dexterity having around in the 7 to 10 range. They've been grinding out for this matchup. These are two of the most active teams in the tier. They've been putting it out every single day in the last week while they've had that extra time to prep. But as we get into some player stats here, MGK, anything that jumps out to you?
I'm seeing that Ember is looking, in my opinion, a little bit better there with the goals and the assists, maybe even the saves, I'm gonna be honest with you, though Quantus might just be there with the saves. We have the shot accuracy, it looks pretty equal, though Quantus here taking the lead. I think, as I said before, the teams are pretty equal, and the games are gonna be real close together.
Absolutely, and it's worth noting that the reason a lot of the game stats are low on Dexterity is this is a rebuilt roster, the only surviving player being Venom Aspect after week 3, and you managed to claw things back, signed Onesie, who, as you can see, that win percentage is what jumps out to me, 71%, 67% for Nick also. This is a team that has done quite well since they've rebuilt, and now they've got themselves back into that spot. They managed to find themselves in that 5th spot in the Glacies Conference, but the question is, will they be able to get past Ember?
Yeah, that's a good question, and we're gonna see the answer today. We're gonna have to stay tuned. You know, both teams are gonna have to probably play more, I'd say, more aggressive, because if the teams are so equal together, maybe positional play will not be enough.
Absolutely, but I think we should get into some predictions here, and I don't know what you're feeling, but I think it's going to be a Game 7, and I think it's going to be Quantus that takes it over Ember in the end.
Hey, you know, I respect that. I think I'm gonna go 4-2 for Dexterity.
Very similar, but all I hope for is a good series here, as we are getting started with Challenger, but do have the players in lobby, so I would just love to get into it if we could, because I know these players have worked so hard this season to get to this stage, and they will absolutely be looking to keep things going. But as we do get the players ready to go, everyone is joining up, and we will likely be kicking off Challenger. Oh, we do have a not ready call coming through from the Qantas side, so we have a little bit more time to talk about this, MGK, but based on those stats, what do you think is going to be the difference maker?
You know, I think the best answer is time, because we're gonna have to see, though. I might be wrong. I think one of these teams might take the lead by just being more cautious about the other team's mistake, because that's what usually brought one team better off against the other one, because one can usually just see the difference in positional play, see the mistakes, and punish it immediately. That's why we have some early leads, and that's why I've seen myself some early leads happening, mostly because of mistakes, you know, lack of warm-up or lack of communication might be here, because you know, it happens. It can happen very often. It's just about if you can punish it or not.
Absolutely, and as we do get into it, both teams coming out swinging so far. We knew this would be a war of attrition, but the aggression from both sides. We've been on both sides of the net so far. Venom Aspect will try flip this one out. Gets demoed by Flossie. Transfer Onesie to get the ball middle, but Flair is there. Maybe a chance for a pass into the middle, cut out by Nick, and we're going to see a lot of this aggressive playstyle. We're going to see a lot of banging the ball, trying to get possession, and it's going to be a lot of bumps, a lot of demos. I myself have played against this Brave team a few times in scrims, and Ember do not give you space, as that ball nearly falls just right into the Qantas net off a back pass. And straight away, it's the same thing that we've been talking about, these bangs and just getting the ball away. Both teams trying to find footing, but no one truly comfortable yet in this game.
Yeah, that's right. We've seen a lot of back and forth pressure here. The ball just going from one net to another. And it's just a question of who can put it into the back of the net. Can we see something here? No, almost here we can see with Nick putting it into the back of the net. 3 minutes and a half left in the game here, and we have the lead taken by Quantus. Absolutely phenomenal positioner there, and the finishing was pretty alright. You know, the precision was there. It was everything they needed right now.
And Tracy just misreading that ball, as it looks like we are having a server crash potentially. Very unfortunate after the first goal. It might be a server side issue. Not too sure what's going on here, but we may have to just cut away and try to figure out this on a server side with the teams. It's not what you want to see after a goal, but things like this do happen. Sometimes the servers do just act out, but I mean, after getting that goal, you've got to be happy to have that coming into it. But that is a momentum killer. It's very unfortunate that happened for Quantus, but I mean, as we saw, they were able to get the first goal, but from here now they can't just ride that out. They can't take that off the kickoff. They've got to be quite stop and start and just go again, which is hard to come back from.
Yeah, that's right. Now we're gonna have to see how we come back to this game now. So we've had a lead here. I'd say it was pretty early, you know, not too late into the game. It was an alright finish there. The positional play, I think that made a difference. And no, pressure might just start building now. We're gonna have the first game now. I usually see the first game as more of an warm-up for both teams, because they probably need it, you know, to understand the style of the other team and take advantages of certain patterns of mistakes, right?
Absolutely. And we do have all the players back in lobby, just waiting for one more to join so we can get underway. I believe we will be using match admin here to get ourselves to the time and just replay from the kickoff after that goal as soon as everyone is ready. But the players are here, the casters are here. We will get underway shortly, given some time that we were able to get back to the point that we were in the last game after that goal. But with everything going on, it is a little bit of a messy first game here.
Yeah, pretty messy. You gotta give it. I haven't had this happening to me, you know, first time. We're gonna have to see. We're probably gonna deal with it pretty fast. You know, that's kind of what we do. We deal with it pretty fast, and we're gonna have the game running again. Can't wait to see that action. You know, I've already seen it in just a minute and a half, and I think it's gonna keep on going.
Absolutely, and we are just getting back to where we were as the lovely streamer Stingray gets things back to, I believe we'll be at 3:28 on the clock with a goal to Quantus. We'll shortly get underway with the kickoff when both teams are ready. Does look like we are, so we'll be jumping straight back into the game here. Apologies for the delay as usual, but when it is things with the servers, you cannot do much. Another second called by the teams. Hopefully they're ready for this kickoff. And once again, we have an AFK player. We will go back to a pause because of even more ping issues. And this first game's taking forever to get through.
Yeah, that's right. Now, we're gonna have to wait, I guess. You know, patience. You gotta be patient with it. You can't have a rush game of Rocket League and expect it to deliver any kind of quality, right?
Absolutely. And when it's unfortunate, it is sadly just unfortunate. But if the players are ready, I believe we can just get back into this. I believe everyone has called for ready, so we are able to continue. We'll be getting right back on the kickoff here, jumping straight back into this game. And with a bit of a pause, maybe the teams have had something to talk about. They've had a few minutes to be able to discuss what went wrong on those goals, and especially for Quantus, what went right. But Flossie trying to take the ball down the pitch, gets demoed immediately. Onesie, maybe a chance across goal. No commit from the second man, playing rather safe. And when you're a goal up like Quantus, you don't need to play too aggressive. A chance maybe in front of net. Flossie around the corner, a great diving save from Nick. And once again, we're straight back into the middle of the action. Maybe Venom Aspect has a shot into the bottom corner. Flossie just ready to clear, and MGK, both these teams coming out firing off this pause.
Yeah, that's right. I think Quantus really used that time. Maybe kind of like an how can I say it, a free timeout, you know, because
Absolutely.
they've had some time there to talk about what they can do about it, about this early
Ooh.
concede of a goal here, and now they're just taking it back. We have Ember taking the goal, you know, Quantus Ember 1-1 right now. We have the equalizer coming at 2 minutes and 31 seconds here. What can we see here? Because I want to see even more action. You know, I'm waiting to see that kind of always having pressure on that goals over goals over goals, maybe even more saves, because I want them really fighting for it. I want to see that effort. You know.
Absolutely, and I'll say that after that double demo from Trazy, I will be expecting a little bit more of that because this Ember side so aggressive when they have the ball. They do play ahead, and I mean, Flair is never going to miss that open net. Maybe a chance for Onesie here, and both sides of the ball, a pretty easy one coming through for Qantas. Unfortunately defended. Flossie with no boost on the backboard. A brilliant pass across. Trazy tries to reach it, and the placement from Onesie in that bottom right corner. Nobody able to reach it, but as quick as Qantas lost that lead, they got it right back.
Yeah, not much Ember could do about it there. You know, the lack of boost really made a difference there. Um, they tried, they couldn't get it out of the net, so now we have 2-1. Quantus taking the lead, 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the game. We have to see something from Ember quite fast. They have to get the equalizer to at least have the chance to even take the lead right now. They're 1 goal down, time is ticking, pressure might be just pressed onto them, pressure of time, external pressure, like how they really work to get here in the playoffs.
Absolutely, and as was highlighted yesterday or not yesterday, Sunday even in the Prospect playoffs, the first game does matter a lot, as I believe that every single team that won the first game in that upper bracket manages to win the series. Happened twice for that Volps roster against Keanu, both in the upper final and the grand final. But if you're Qantas here, you'll take that lead, read what's going on, but Ember not really getting much more pressure. But as I say that, a demo does come out, 2-men jump, maybe Nick with a diving save on 0 boost. The shot is just too slow. Flossie tries to take it up high, but with a bit of space and a bit of boost, Venom Aspect can deal with that ball, but pressure is mounting for this Ember side. They're throwing men at the ball, and as we get into this final 30 seconds, they will be looking to try overextend, but a great dunk from Onesie. Maybe Flossie has a chance to do it for his team here. Tries to get it around one. Venom Aspect does well. A demo comes through on Onesie, maybe a pass down. Flair with low boost hits this ball away, and it's free for Onesie. Maybe a chance for a double tap, but on low boost it is not there. But Venom Aspect with 2 players in net just slots that one bottom left, and well, it looked like an easy one. No one could reach it.
Yeah, passing it from the backboard. We see there, I can't say it was an easy goal because if he didn't just put it right in the bottom corner, he couldn't have possibly gotten that goal because somebody was in net, though they just couldn't get it out in time. So now we have the first game here going to Quantus. You know, they really work for it. You gotta give it to them. Getting another goal just on 0 seconds here. So 4-1 final score. Amazing here coming from both teams. We've seen the effort, though in the final moments, Quantus are going to take this game 1.
Consolation goal for Nick, who you can argue with anyone about that, but absolutely deserved to have a bit more impact on the score sheet there. Got a few very nice saves down the stretch that kept Qantas in it, which, apologies for the stats not being correct due to the pause and having to remake the lobby. I imagine the stats from Brave and this Ember side did not look as heavy as it was, but still, 4-1, a convincing win for Qantas in game 1, and I mean, even with going 1-0 up and then having the timeout, they brought it back to 1-1, got that 2-1 lead straight away, and they just extended it throughout the game. And Ember really got to try to figure out a way to get into the series.
Yeah, that's right. You know, Quantus really made a difference there. I've seen a lot of great saves coming from them, you know, and that eventually just made them get in front of Ember there. It was just really nice coming from them. We're gonna have to see more coming from Ember though if they want to take this game too, because if they lose a game after a game after a game, then it's gonna be just absolute catastrophe coming from them, and it's gonna really just destroy their morale. It's gonna be just game over. We need to see more coming from them if they want to keep themselves in this game.
Absolutely, couldn't have said it better myself. But when you consider the stakes in this game, if they do manage to bring this back, they do ultimately turn the series into a best of 5. They will make it a lot easier. It will feel like league play for them, but if they do end up going 2-0 down, it is really hard to come back from 2-0 down in a series. It is not as easy as it sounds, because when the momentum does flip, it's really hard to bring it back for yourselves. But as we do get our way into game 2, surely Ember will try something new to get going in this series. Maybe try find themselves a game, but so far possession is with Qantas. Venom Aspect trying to take the ball up the wall, just bounces awkwardly over him. Ember sending men downfield. Maybe a chance for Flossie off the bar. Maybe a chance for Trazy as well. Well blocked, and the composure from Qantas just looked brilliant. A fake come through from Venom Aspect. Maybe a chance for another, but Qantas already looking just as much in control in this game as it did last.
Yeah, but we're just underway now, so things could really just change immediately, you know, by the second. So Ember here, I think, in my opinion, what they should do is just kind of have a change of strategy, because as what I've seen is they've did mostly an aggressive play, and because of that, they've had less positional advantage. As to Quantus, they've had more of both, I'm gonna be honest, but the positional play was such a big difference there. As you've seen, so many passes coming in front of Ember's net there, and almost every time somebody from Quantus was just there to try and at least try to put it into the back of the net. I'm not even gonna talk about the goals.
Absolutely, you just look a level above, and maybe just an open net shot from Nick, and you said it yourself, Qantas just have a man to follow up, and this time Nick is just ready for it again. A man gets beat out, Flossie can't get back in time, and just rolls that one in towards the net. A very easy goal for Nick, but it's the accumulation of a minute and a half of control that Qantas have had this game.
Yeah, just as I said it, they're just proving me right. You know, the angle was a bit awkward there, but he managed to, you know, get it rolling towards the net. He put it into the net. It doesn't matter. A goal is a goal. We have Quantus 1-0 against Ember with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in the game. Ember here, they have enough time. As I said, Quantus take another goal here, taking the lead 2-0, though Ember has enough time to slow down the game, start understanding what Quantus is trying to do, start seeing those mistakes, because Quantus have made some mistakes themselves, though not as big as Ember, but the mistakes have been there. Ember just have to take advantage of it, and they have to do it as soon as possible if they want to have a chance at this game.
Absolutely, and it's the positioning and the boost at the end of the day that's costing this Ember side. They're getting caught out in the worst scenarios, and the last man not having much boost. It's been so hard, but we had to see a real offensive threat. They're looking for something now, but it's the same story. 2 men racing back with low boost to try to defend here, and with awkward positioning, it's so hard for them to get out that half, but if anyone's going to do it, maybe a chance for Flossie. Flip reset pass, trying to get this to Trazy, but he is ready. Nick going up high to block this out. 2 men commit for Ember. Maybe an open net if Onesi's able to get the demo or a bump here, and Venom Aspect just ready to drive that in, and once again, the positioning, the boost with the comms striking at the worst time for Ember.
Yeah, nobody really back in defense, you know. Flair tried coming back, but that was kind of too late there, and Quantus just carried it over. No kind of stress there, not even look like he was being pressured or anything, just put it into the back of the net. Having now the lead of 3-0 against Ember, 2 minutes left in the game, a win here from Ember can be possible, though they have to stop making these defending mistakes, because so many times we've seen goals coming from Quantus where Ember either don't have a great positional plays, or they're just not back on defense. They're just way too much in an aggressive play, aggressive stance, and that hasn't paid out good for them.
Absolutely not. And based on what I've seen in my own experience of scrimming this team this season, I absolutely know that Ember can be better than this, but Qantas looking very, very solid. This week of scrims that they've had has obviously improved this roster quite a lot. Maybe Flossie has a chance for a double tap. Maybe a shot for Flair, and unfortunately wide to the corner. But Nick is going to try counter, and the boost does look low on the Ember defense once again. And this Qantas side are just happy to slow the game down. Maybe a pass middle from Onesie. No one challenges an easy ball down, and I mean, we've talked about the defensive positioning, but this is purely just a mistake. No one jumps for the ball in time. Venom Aspect has a free ball, and when the ball is dropping into your box like that and you're 3 goals down, somebody's got to go.
Yeah, that's right. Like Ember didn't even bother to clear that ball out. So of course Quantus just took them up at themselves, and great pass there coming in positioning again. We've seen so many positional plays here coming from Quantus, and they've paid themselves every single time. Now we're having a goal from Ember, though it's kind of late. I don't know if they can make anything out of here. With 62 seconds remaining in the game here, we're gonna have to see more of them, if not now, at least in the next game, because losing 2 games in a row, that's gonna be devastating.
Absolutely, and a great pass over to the backboard from Flossie. Flair able to just tap that one in over the defender, but Demo's coming through from Qantas already. Is there a man mid for this shot? Flossie's ready for it. Maybe this one could just roll all the way in, and you were saying it is a big task, but they got a goal in the first 10 seconds of that kickoff, and with 50 seconds left, all they need is 2 goals to send this to overtime, which it looked like a long shot, but it looks like it's a real possibility now.
Yeah, Ember are usually the ones making these small positional mistakes and defending mistakes regarding them. We see Quantus, they can make them too. It's about who can take advantage of them the first. Now we're in Quantus's half. Ember have a great chance at this right now. With 50 here coming, another 50 back in Ember's half here. We're gonna see more action coming from Venom from the backboard and into the back of the net with 1C. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's in the back of the net for Quantus, having the lead of 3 goals now with 24 seconds left into the game.
Absolutely, and what a way to answer back from Qantas. A great flick from Venom Aspect, and Onesie is not going to miss those. But you can see it here, I was going to say it, but Venom Aspect specifically, and most of this Qantas roster are more than happy to slow the game down to where they're comfortable. And Ember is a very jumpy and aggressive team. Maybe Nick can get a redirect down here, interrupting me. Maybe Onesie with a chance too, but I did say we see a clash of playstyles, but this is not the same Qantas team that I've played. They look so much more controlled. They look a lot more solid with their decision making, with their play behind the ball, and you can't be surprised that Ember have called a timeout here, because 2-0 down in the series, this game 3 is going to be absolutely pivotal, and if they can get back into it.
Yeah, this is real bad here. Unfortunate, we can see the difference here in match stats as well. You know, big difference there. 5-2 final score. We have game 3 coming up. Yeah, we're gonna have to see more, because what they've been doing looks like it's not really enough, and it's not gonna end up great for them.
For sure, and the thing that I'd like to highlight is that we did see 7 shots come through from Ember, which, to be fair, is the same amount of Qantas, but Qantas had 1 save that game. All these shots are not troubling this defense. They're so sound, so solid individually, and they figured out a playstyle that works for them. But Ember, every time they've scored, we've seen these bumps, these demos. Instead of waiting for the mistakes the way that Qantas have against them and prying on this positioning, they have to create them. And Tracy was getting those demos in game 1, got a few this game, and I think that might be Ember's way to try get back into this.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. I'm not really sure what they can do actually. You know, they have to, as I said before, have a little bit of a change of strategy. You know what I'm saying? They have to change something. They have to experiment. Even though it's mid-game, they have to do something, because it looks like nothing they're doing against Quantus is enough, you know? And they're gonna keep struggling, and they're gonna eventually lose again and again, and that's gonna be game over.
For sure, and when you think about it, you've really got to ask, what are Ember going to be talking about in this 2 minutes? Because this is a pivotal time now. This is their one timeout for the rest of the series with their season on the line, everything they've worked for 5 weeks, preseason, everything. And in a season like Legacy, you get to choose your team, you get to choose your teammates. This is a conscious decision that they've had. They haven't had to improve through draft, they haven't had to make things work. They've had the time, the preparation, and all of that comes together now. And the players do expire in the timeout and Ember are ready to go, we will get our way into this third game, and with all the players roaring, we will be looking to see, can Ember get back into this?
We're gonna have to see, so whatever Ember talked there with their captain, I hope it's gonna make a difference. I hope they talked about the strategy that they have to use, maybe something to counter the aggressiveness and the position of Quantus, which is just, amazing. They've played amazing. I think, honestly, I think it's gonna be a need of more demos. That's what that's what I want to see.
Just figuring out some things in the game.
Yeah, looks like there's something wrong.
Just having a few issues on our end, but we'll be restarting and getting into it. Just had a few miscommunication and rule issues, but as the teams are ready to go, we'll be getting underway and into the game. Apologies once again on the delay. I will take the front on that one. But we will get going underway whenever we are ready to go.
Yeah, we're gonna be ready. As you said before, some miscommunications there, but it's alright, things happen. So now back in the game, hope to see more from Ember coming. As I said, maybe they talked something important with their captain. Whatever they talked, it must be good, because they don't have a second chance at it. If they lose it, they lose it. They're not coming back. So the pressure is there externally and probably will be internally from Quantus. We're gonna have to see which one of them can take this game.
Absolutely, and it'll be a question of if Ember can get firing in this third game, because as we've spoken about during that timeout, is incredibly important that they can figure something out, because if they do not, they will be in reverse sweep territory, which is the last thing you want to be with your season on the line. But another positioning mistake coming out again from Ember. It looks like this timeout wasn't able to do anything for them, as Onesie just banging over one and no one's home.
Yeah, same mistakes as before. Nothing is improving. They have to do something. I don't even know what to tell you anymore. They have to do something, and they have to do it fast. The same mistake we've seen last game as well. We've seen 2 goals that were really similar to this one. They have to always have somebody back on defense. I don't know why they're so over committing every time they try to make an attack.
And as we see, Ember are trying to get even more aggressive on these balls, but Qantas just so solid defensively, just reading everything, neutralizing everything, and slowing the game down to their pace. They are not allowing Ember to speed up and play and suffocate them, because this Ember side, they want to demo you, they want to steal your boost, and Qantas doing so well to deny that opportunity from Ember. Onesie looking to get this ball away. Maybe Flossie has a chance high. Maybe can find this one into the top corner. Venom Aspect just able to bang, and Onesie playing that ball out. It's Venom Aspect on it again. Maybe a chance for a pass mid. Is anyone there? One man misses. Onesie just backs out at the last second, not reading the miss. Is able to send another ball middle. Venom Aspect, maybe a chance for another ball here. And the pressure from Qantas. They're beating Ember at their own game. A great save from Trazy. Flossie will try to pinch this ball away, but opts to slow it down. Maybe a pop high here. Flair looking for a pass middle, but once again, Ember, they do find their way out of defense, but they're so starved that they can't even follow up on each other's touches.
They need to clear that ball out. They have to do something. They have to do some kind of aggression play there, because Quantus are just all over them. Ember is just mostly pinned back in their own half. Game has been, again, mostly played in their own half. We're seeing some action there, and yes, we have a goal. Finally, Flair coming with a goal, taking the equalizer though. We've seen Quantus having so many more chances, though Quantus doesn't look like they're gonna get another goal. We have to see if they can do something. We have to see more and more and more, because Ember might just come back, you know. That knock might just be enough for them to gain this game and gain back that motivation.
It's so close for Onesie to get another go-ahead goal there. Just bounces off the post and then off his car. But, I mean, Ember's goal, if we talk about it again, it did what Quanta's been doing to them. Quantas had no boost. They were out of position, and Ember were ready to jump on it. But we see again, out of position, low boost again. Flossie able to deal with this one for his team. Buy his team some time, but Flair trying to get this ball away. Maybe a chance for a pass down middle. The 50 is there. Trazy on the ball, but dunked away from Onesie. Heavy touch from Flossie will find its way to Nick. Maybe a chance for a redirect here. But once again, the ball just banged away into this Quantas side. But that is where Venom Aspect is waiting on the backboard. A bit of time here. Pop of one. Maybe a chance for a bump from Trazy. Looking for those plays. And a great bump out from Onesie to buy some time. Flossie still some boost in the corner. Maybe he'll be able to wait mid for a pass here. But as it pinches out, maybe a chance for a redirect. Onesie just ahead of the ball and able to reach that. But these bangs getting absolutely desperate. What is going on in the defense here from Quantas? Bit of a miscommunication there as Onesie having to bang that one away. Maybe a chance for a goal forward, but this ball bouncing slowly. Onesie with a pop high. Maybe he'll be able to reach this ball, but Flossie beating me out. Flair, maybe a chance to the backboard, maybe even to the ceiling. A double tap down, wide off the post, and Ember looking like a much better team so far.
Yeah, it looks like I think they finally woken up. Maybe they're starting to unleash themselves, though. We can't say it so early now because it's only been one of the games where they actually look like a team. You know, they actually look like they're communicating. The pressure is applied finally by them. We can see here shots on goal again and again and again, and one of them might just convert to a goal. We have great positional play here, just barely missing the ball there. Couldn't quite get it on target there. Flossie trying to pass it there in front of them. Nobody there to take it. Clear out now back in Ember's half here. Can we see something from Quantus here to take the lead? Almost clear there, just a small weave coming. We have Flair. They don't look like they can just clear the ball out. It looks like they're kind of struggling. Quantus just always being on top of them, pinning them back. Now, are we gonna see a last second goal is the big question here, because I'm really entitled to that. Flossie up into air. Now we have a pass from corner. No, it touches the ground and we are in overtime.
Arguably the most important moment of the series so far. Will Quantas go 3-0 up, or will this be the start of the road to redemption for Ember? And so far, Quantas having a bit more possession, but a bang goes straight through. This one going towards the net. 2 players commit, 3 players commit even for Quantas. Managed to deal with it for now, but this pressure coming through. Maybe a pass down to Onesie from Venom Aspect. Is anyone there for the follow-up? Trazy with a bang. Flossie has possession. Onesie on the backboard. Kona low. This ball bouncing slowly. Venom Aspect will deal with it. Weak touch from Trazy gives his opponents time and boost. Flair ready for that ball on the backboard. We're about to get it over another. This ball bouncing awkwardly. A double commit comes through. Maybe a chance for Onesie. This ball slowly bouncing middle. A little bit too wide, and Nick with a chance to collect. Pops the ball high. Flair on the ball, running out of boost. Looking for a 50, but Onesie wise not to challenge. Managed to get that ball out. A double tap off the ceiling. A pass into middle. Maybe a chance for a bump. Ball does go down, but Flair on a counter-attack. Low boost for Nick. Maybe a chance for a redirect. Sends it high to the backboard. A 50 does come through. Trazy trying to play this ball high. Onesie is ready for it, and both teams look so evenly matched in offense and defense.
Yeah, as you can see, finally we're seeing Ember doing something. We've been waiting for this moment. We're actually seeing them apply pressure. They just can't get it onto the net. That's so unfortunate, because look at them. finally doing something great, finally applying that pressure that we've been waiting for so long. And they do it with such passion. We're seeing the effort coming. We're seeing the players communicating. As I said before, we're just prone to see that goal coming.
Absolutely, and the question is, who is it going to be? Onesie, soft touch, sends it backwards. Bit open in the corner for Venom Aspect here. He does have a man diving, and putting up the touch, Onesie wanted to get back. Flossie has a chance for a double tap high. Is he contested? Oh, he just needs to try play the dunk, and it is out. Flair commits, nothing there. And Qantas in a bit of an awkward position here with low boost. They need to try to get this ball away. Will it be Onesie to 50 this ball high? Maybe take it up off the backboard, but low boost again himself. Is Nick to try relieve some of this pressure, and they have a calculated bang there to try get this ball away, to buy some time to get some boosters. Everyone on Qantas is able to reset, but only as far as Ember will let them. Two men already up on the field. Trazy to bang this too. Bit of space for Venom Aspect. Tries to fake a man out. Nick ahead of the ball, able to just get nothing on this play, as the boost does run low for Venom Aspect on the edgeable. Maybe Flair and Flossie can make it happen on the other end of the pitch. The ball just slow again, and everyone just challenging so fast, using all of their boosts to try to get the ball across. Maybe a pass middle here, and miss comes through from both players. Nearly an own goal from Trazy, and the nerves are really setting in because we get deep into this overtime.
Yeah, 3 minutes into overtime, way past the normal half game length. So now we're about to see maybe some kind of fatigue, because being focused for, such a long time might have a kind of effect on either team. We're just gonna have to see which one can hold up the most. We've seen both teams doing amazing this game. And so anybody can take here the lead again. Ember not being able to put it into the back of the net. So unfortunate they can't have that much needed precision there. We're gonna have to see them coming in with more precision, because here Quantus are not looking to let them get any kind of goal, and they can take this game as well. Just look at them absolutely dominating. Looks like the game was pretty equal for most of it, but we see here in the final moments, the last things you do are the most important, because we've seen here Ember, they've done a small mistake there positionally and defensively. So Quantus just took that opportunity, put it into the back of the net, and took the game. Now 3-0. If they win the next one, they're taking this one. So the pressure is there. We're gonna have to see more from Ember. I'm just asking for them to come with something more. They're just not listening to me, looks like.
That's also the timeout used for Ember too, but very back and forth game. We see 10 saves come through from Qantas. We'll just comment that we did have a restart due to some timeout rule issues, so that is why Onesie appeared with 3 goals there. Did only get 2 in the 2-1 win for Qantas over Ember in Game 3, but with that timeout burned, this is it now for Ember. They need to win 4 straight games to stay alive in these play-ins, and a very tall task to try reverse sweep, and especially like a timeout, you did what you could, you spoke to each other, you had a whole 2 minutes to try figure it out, and when you lose another game, especially in a long OT like that, it's really just a mental battle from here.
Yeah, the pressure is gonna be there. Ember are probably pretty nervous right now, because they just cannot lose this one. They lost the other one, they cannot lose this one. It's gonna be game over for them if they do that. So they have to lock in, start understanding that it's game over. They can't lose it. So give it their all. They have nothing to lose if they give it their all, and we're gonna have to see more of them this round.
And usually aggressive teams like Ember, any team that likes to play demo heavy, bump heavy, like to suffocate, when they go down, they just turn it up a notch. They can't sit back, they can't play relaxed, they have to just completely send it. There's nothing to lose at this point. If they lose one more game, they're out anyway, so we might see a little bit more aggression coming through from this Ember side. Maybe those demos will appear a little bit more as we see Flossie diving in for the ball there, and very tight positioning through from Ember. Is there a man middle on this ball? There is 2 up from Qantas. Onesie, maybe a boost, a chance to grab this. The bang does come out from Flossie to relieve some pressure. Trazy sending this one to the wall. Is anyone home? Maybe a dunk through from Flossie. slightly wide, and Ember already trying to get a bit more aggressive. Maybe a chance there, but everything that Ember is throwing at Qantas they're just ready for is maybe a long ball might find its way just wide of the post. And Qantas, they're a very smart team. They will see these bangs over players if Ember gets this aggressive.
Yeah, looks like Ember are finally, like we've seen last game, trying to apply the pressure and be a little bit more aggressive. Though, personally, I think it's a little bit too late. They could still come with a miracle and win 4 games by some kind of surprise. Though I think it's a little bit too late to apply the pressure. You know, they could have done it 3 games ago. They had to do it 3 games ago. Now we're gonna have to see if they can do anything. You know, they have to get a goal. They have to get a lead to maybe win at least 1 more game. You know, they haven't really won any, and Quantus are not looking to give them this one either.
And it's the exact thing that I mentioned just a minute ago. Those bangs from the third man, and of course Venom Aspect, we know that he can do that from that third man position. I believe it was Flossie just a bit too far up on the pitch, and when you do get over aggressive you do tend to overcommit, and those open nets will be easier. So this over aggression from Ember could only just hurt them. Qantas playing so deep, playing so ready. We see another bang come out. Tracy's gonna have to deal with this on low boost. Just managing to pin them back in their own half. A fake comes through from Venom Aspect, maybe a flick. Flossie does well to cut that one out. Maybe launch an attack of his own on the other end. Flair is up for this ball. Onesie and Nick ready to combine to get rid of this pressure, but Tracy back into the middle. Is anyone there? Onesie fakes for his teammate, just runs out of boost at the height of that ball. And now we're seeing Qantas maybe getting a little bit more aggressive here, throwing themselves, trying to prevent this, but Onesie, a poor pass to the back. Is Venom Aspect home? A great save over 2 players. And Onesie absolutely bailed out by his teammate there. Will he do anything here? Maybe a chance for a double tap to save the day, but as we are slowly creeping down into this last 2 minutes, Ember getting more and more desperate, but Qantas looks so solid behind the ball.
Is it gonna be a 4-0 game final? We're gonna have to see if Quantus is gonna take this one as well. Ember have a lot of chances here with 2 minutes left. You know, only 1 goal down. Not that big of a lead coming from Quantus. They have a great chance at finding the equalizer, maybe even the lead just before overtime. It is possible, though we're not sure if it's possible coming from them.
Absolutely, but I mean, Ember's pressure's got to accumulate in something. Flossie takes away from his teammate on what he thought could be a goal. Heavy touch out. Flair will try pre-flip control. There's maybe a chance for a double. Is anyone there home? Nick just glances it over the bar. Looks like he didn't even mean to touch that one, but ends up saving his team. Onesie trying to get this ball, relieve some pressure, send it away, but you can see Qantas so deep, not even jumping for these balls. Flossie and Tracy waste all their boost on that play. It's just Flair with a chance, but Qantas, they're just sitting and letting Ember bring the ball up to them and just serving it on a platter. They're over-forcing these aerial plays, trying to get these passes, and players like Nick, like Onesie, like Venom Aspect will just be saying thank you for the free ball.
Yeah, I think, I don't know why I have this impression that Ember are just kind of giving up a little bit. I'm not seeing the same amount of energy I've seen before. Even though they applied the pressure, you can feel it. They're not playing the same. They're kind of lost. They know that if they lose this one, or their work is done and it's lost.
Mental is a very big battle, and just once again it's a wide open net of Flossie's touch. No one's ready for it. Maybe a bang back as we do find ourselves in this last 20 seconds. Will it be Flossie? Maybe a pass down to Flair, down to Tracy. Both men commit. Is that too deep? Nick, maybe a chance for a redirect. Will they be able to seal it for their team here? Straight down to Onesie, a brilliant pass down, and surely that is the nail in the coffin on what has been a brilliant display from Qantas.
Yeah, that might be the last goal of this game. You know, even if Ember get another one, I don't think it's possible in any kind of universe that they take 2 goals in 10 seconds now. Only a miracle could save them. Time is ticking here. They have to take another goal here if they want to have a chance at getting another one. It looks like the game is going to Quantus. Unfortunate there for Ember, losing 4 games there. The better team 1 indeed. So now they advance further up in the brackets.
I mean, we both did predict a Qantas win, but none of us in this fashion. I think I said in 7, you said in 6, and all the way in 4 now. I mean, we know that Qantas have got to play again in 15 minutes against that Death Cloud side, and they look scary, to be fair. Death Cloud will be screaming right now. They will be warming up, but Qantas, you've got to be absolutely happy with that performance because they dominated across the game. They had less shots, less possession. They were slower, but they looked so much more in control because Ember just looked so frantic on the ball.
Yeah, so many more shots coming from Ember, but looks like not as many goals. I think it was about precision because Quantus came in with precision and Ember came in with pure aggression and just smacking the ball into the net, hoping they get a goal, and that wasn't enough. The saves also made a big difference there from Quantus. As we can see here, they have 23 saves, which is so much. Ball possession was kind of, close to 50-50. So mostly, I think the quality of the shots and the saves made a difference here.
Sure, but that's just the first installment of a very long night from RSC, and I mean, we've said everything we can on this series. Onesie getting MVP absolutely deserves it. We know what he's capable of in this tier. We've seen him go to the final in Season 16 in Challenger, narrowly missing out last season. But, I mean, a long run is possible for this Sectarian side. They do have a very difficult bracket, as you would from 5th seed, but they will be back shortly. So, my question is to you, MGK, do you see them going further? Because they do have Atmos coming up next, who are the 4th seed from the Ignis conference, I believe. But they will be playing a step up in level. Ember not looking too troubling for them. How do you think that one's going to go?
Hey, I think I'm gonna go for Atmos because I've seen their games. They play so aggressively and they combine the perfect amount of aggression with position play, and that is just so effective against almost every team, And I expect Atmos to be taking that game against Quantus there.
Absolutely, but we will be taking a short break just to get things on our side. We do have around 10 to 15 minutes before the next series, so thank you very much for joining us, and we'll be back right after this.
trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
I can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophy, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, you get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at the exact movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back to see Qantas take on Atmos, and by my side, I do have a replacement. I have the wonderful Char.
Yeah, very excited to be here. We saw that previous series. If we could take up the bracket very, very quickly, we saw Qantas sweeping Ember out of the play-ins here. A very convincing sweep. I managed to catch the end of it, and yeah, Qantas, very, very good showing there. And now they have another test here in Atmos, but I think this Qantas roster is a relatively new roster. They've gone through a few roster changes throughout the season, and Atmos as well. They're playing with some players that they haven't played before, so this could be a very interesting matchup. 5th versus 4th. I believe they're in the same conference, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, will be a very interesting matchup.
Bit of a correction there, that Atmos are from the Ignis conference and Qantas from Glacies. Honest mistake, but this Atmos side were heavily in contention. They were top 3, and then in week 5, I believe, they played against the 2nd and 3rd team in both MTK and Alpha Surge, losing to both of them and throwing them out of that 3rd spot. So narrowly missing out, having a absolute flurry of rosters. I believe the stat was they've had 7 different individual teams play for Atmos this season without, I believe, 1 roster change is all they had. They signed RefX, who came from Qantas. So that's my main point for this, is that RefX jumping over from Qantas to a higher seed in the other conference and maybe looking for a bit of revenge on his team.
Yeah, and you look at these stats here, both of these teams have players that haven't quite played a lot of games. Both of these teams have new signings. I believe Onesie and Nick on the side of Dexterity are also relatively new signings. Onesie coming from God Alliance and Nick coming from Team Berserkers. And they've had a good impact. They got them to 5th, they got them into the plains, and they got them to sweep that Ember roster. The roster that did play there was Onesie, Nick, and Venom Aspect. And I believe you said earlier that the roster playing against them will be Razor, Panic, and RefX. So very interesting stuff to look at here. I wanted to quickly ask you this, Dispatch, because you casted the last game. Is there anything in particular about this Qantas squad that surprised, that like particularly impressed you?
More that they managed to make it work, to be honest. This was a team that has had very little time, rebuilt in week 3, being in always contention for... They had the chance to go top 3, but it was a very close conference. Everything was tied just before week 5, all the way down from 3rd to 7th. I believe the gap was 1 series, and everyone played each other. So it was very close for them, but they've put the work into this last week. I haven't scrimmed them myself since week 4, week 5, I believe. And they look a lot better. They seem a lot more controlled. They've developed this chemistry. I believe they had a really harsh loss against Sentinels, Fort Templar, who finished 2nd in Glacies. I believe they got swept, and it was quite ugly on the mainstream in week 5, but they're like a completely different team, and Deathcloud, off that entire Plains bracket, is the only team that I haven't seen myself this season in Challenger, I believe. And I'm really not sure what to expect. I've heard a lot about Panic. We saw the stats. He's 26 games, 45 goals in that time frame. At the top of the leaderboards for points, everything, just behind the Beast on my roster. We'll get to him later. But absolutely a brilliant player, and I mean, we've seen a lot of change from Atmos, so it'll be really interesting to see which way it goes, Char.
Yeah, and we do have all our players in the lobby, but just before we finish our yapping, we've got some predictions here to do, and I'm not going to lie, I'm going into this one a little bit blind, but looking at these rosters, looking at the momentum that Qantas do have after that sweep, I'm going to give it 4-2 in favor of Qantas.
I'll one-up you and go 4-1 to Qantas. I think that's one of the best teams I've seen in Shally this season, and I mean, as I said, I've scrimmed against this team. I've played a lot of teams in the tier. There's a team that could make a top 4 push on the day. Obviously, there's a pretty big jump between some of the top teams in this tier with the records and everything, but there's a team that could compete.
Yeah, for sure. And we're heading on over to the pitch. We'll get all our players into the lobby. Winner of this will move on to Championship Saturday, and the loser will be out. Their season will be over. Neither of the teams want to go home here, and they will be putting on a massive push to make sure that that doesn't happen. Rays are forced into a save right off the kickoff. Panic now, taking this one to the backboard. Nick able to hit it away. Refex trying to take that one forward, but it's into the hands of Nick, just sending it forward. Onesie's lurking on the backboard, but can't do anything with that play. Venom now hitting this one across. That's a shot, but fairly weak and fairly comfortable for Nick to take away.
An absolute sucker punch from Nick and Qantas to start this game, and that just shows the momentum that a 4-0 sweep can buy you in this league, because when you come into this, they will have all the confidence. Neither team knows what to expect, but Atmos have probably heard rumblings of what happened. They know who came through, as they had to directly play the winner of that series, and Onesie, maybe a chance for a shot here. Has a little bit of time to deal with this, but low boost, maybe a chance for a 50 out. Onesie trying to keep some pressure for Qantas. Maybe Venom has a chance for a pass mid. The net nearly open, fakes out Panic, hiding behind the ball, and Panic just diving at that one, and Venom making him silly to start this game.
Yeah, Panic just sitting in the net, not a lot of boost, just flies at that ball, but Venom Aspect, the composure on that play, fake, sending Panic absolutely flying. Now he has a chance for a second, and he sinks it.
And to start this second series for them today, it is the captain, it is Venom Aspect to get things going. One of the original players left from this roster, been there since the start, handpicked his teammates of Nick and Onesie from losing teams. Godalians and TBK were out of contention by the time that they joined, but Venom Aspect took a chance on them and said, in this game, it's on me. But Qantas, shades of what we've seen so far, not much offense coming through, and another chance, and making a hat-trick for him. He said he'd put him on their back, but I didn't think he'd mean this.
Yeah, hat-trick already, less than a minute and a half in. You just got to hold your hands up and say fair enough. Venom Aspect putting on a show here so far in this game 1 and doing so well for himself. Now trying to add a fourth, but that would have been a little bit too ridiculous, I think. Onesie now trying to take this one forward. Nick will look to keep on the pressure. Gets the beat on Razor. Panic off the backboard. Forced to clear it away. Like you say, a player that has done so well in Charlie. Looked like one of the best in the tier this season. Venom Aspect trying to get this onto the net, but Reflex able to save it away. Razor as well on this Atmos side, a player that was in the prospect tier last season, got first with his Thunder side, but ended up falling down 0-2 in the playoffs, not having the postseason that they desired, not really challenging for that title, as a lot of people had them down as the only team that would be able to take down that MPB Snap team, but that ended up being the Occultist roster that was the closest to and did actually manage to, so they did not live up to the expectations at all. And Razor, he'll want to right those wrongs with that shot, but it won't quite do it for him.
And who else is it gonna be but Venom Aspect to keep that one out? We do find ourselves at the halfway point in this game. Nick and Onesie, maybe a chance for a pass middle, but we know the third man is lurking. We know Venom wants these, and with low boost, shades of what we've seen again. Panic was low in net there, but a great bump coming through to save his team. Maybe a chance for a Psycho from Onesie. Barely just misses that one. And I mean, when you swept your last series, you're 3-0 up in the next one. Might as well go for a shot.
Yeah, we all know what Onesie can do on the ball, and almost shown it once again there. I'm sure we'll see another clip attempt or two in this series, but now this one's dangerous. Panic able to take it away. Now counter-attack. Onesie last man back, gets the flip reset, tries to get it into the middle, but Qantas defense managed to get back with the time that he took. Onesie doesn't make the contact on that. Now Nick trying to take this one out. Air dribble, a nice few touches, but Panic is equal to it. Venom Aspect now trying to put on. This game has been so much Qantas pressure here. Onesie drops it down. Nick is there. Panic able to make the save.
And the first thing to say is that while all 3 goals are on Venom Aspect, Nick has 8 shots so far. Atmos have 1. As we just get another one coming through, and that is now another shot. 16 shots to 1. 4 goals for Venom Aspect, and the entire team of Qantas looking a league ahead of Atmos in game 1.
Qantas look unbelievable here. Venom Aspect 4 goals, Onesie 2 assists, Nick 1 assist. They're playing unreal right now. They're running rings around this Atmos defense. Panic tried to sneak one in there at the near post, but nothing doing. Now Razor looking to add the first for Atmos, but it just won't happen. Another shot on net from Panic, but doesn't go in. You managed to get the shots on net though. That's their first real proper offense of the game, but still Qantas keeping it out, and with time running down Dispatch, you think surely it must be done here for game 1.
Absolutely, it's so hard to get through, and I mean, you said they had the one real offense, maybe a chance for a second here, but chances like that are coming so far in between at the moment. Maybe Refx off the ceiling, a shot to the bar, no one's ready to follow. Panic's trying to get some bumps, and Razor's just a bit too deep when it matters. Refx maybe a shot high, hits the post, Razor reads it, and there is 15 seconds left, Char. It is possible, but looking like a consolation goal at the end of game 1.
Yeah, even if it is though, I don't mind it. Atmos have definitely stepped things up in the last minute of this game. They've got pressure, they've got shots. They had 1 shot when we talked about it earlier. Now they are up to 7, so that make that 8. Panic just making me eat my words, but yeah, they've improved a lot in the last minute of this game. I was quite worried for them when we saw 4 minutes of just absolute Qantas domination. But now I can see them getting back into this series.
For sure, and with a fresh game 2, maybe it'll be a bit more even, but I mean, when you give a player 4 goals to start the series, Venom Aspect will absolutely be feeling himself on that, getting dimes from his teammates, getting 2 saves on the other side of the ball as well, just looking absolutely brilliant, everything Qantas needs, and the captain leading by example in game 1, Char.
Yeah. What a game from him. What a game from Qantas. A statement here, using that momentum from that sweep over Ember just a moment ago, and now they are fully taking that in. And Atmos, they cannot let that happen again. They need to embody some of that last minute energy heading into this next game, because the last minute they were on top, they were the better team, but you can't do it for 1 minute in Rocket League, you've got to do it for 5.
You have, and I mean, the blueprint was there in that first series from Qantas. We did see Ember take a timeout after game 2, and we saw how difficult it was for them to get back into it. They did manage to force an overtime in game 3, but Atmos, I said a similar thing at the beginning of the last series, where 2-0 down in a series is a lot bigger of a deficit in a best of 7 than you would expect. It is very difficult to come back. If you use that timeout and you get burned in that game 3 and you are in reverse sweep territory, it is so dangerous. If you win this game 2 now for Atmos, you essentially turn the series into a best of 5, which is what we've played all season in Legacy. So I'm sure Atmos will be looking for that. Maybe a shot off rip, but who else is it going to be ready for it? Maybe an overcommit here. I think it was a bump through from Onesie, and Venom Aspect just combining with Onesie for a clean up a net here. Double bump from Onesie, putting one of the Atmos players into his teammate. And I was talking about what Atmos need to do to get back into this, but Qantas shutting me up straight away.
Yeah, and I've just seen in chat from Eddie a quote that I think sums up this quite well. Dexterity appear to be playing quite well, and yeah, that is the truth of it. Onesie getting the pull shot bump there on the last man, leaving that net completely wide open. And play like that is what is going to win you this series. Panic taking this forward, but doesn't get the contact on it. Refex, really nice first touch. Now trying to get there again. Nick just playing patient. That's a dangerous game to play though. Razor just can't get that one across into the net. Onesie now trying to take it forward. Gets a 50 in the corner. Qantas trying to stretch their lead, but now they've got to defend. That one's sent right back. Razor with the beat, but Onesie manages to turn it away and keep it at a 1-0 win.
We've seen such sound defense from this Qantas side. We know that Ember was throwing pre-jumps, demos, bumps, everything they could at this defense. They were so solid, and they just whittle you down. They'll take the ball out if you ever bang it away, and with so much control, it's going to be very difficult for Atmos to get into it. And the player that I'll be looking at is Panic. We've seen his stats. We know what he's been capable of. We know the reputation he has in this tier as, I believe he is a max player at Team V. He's barely away from Rival, and I believe his team will be looking for him to step things up as well, as he's not exactly been quiet so far. But if anyone's got to lead this offense for Atmos, it's going to be him, as he does look to bang this ball down the field. But Qantas, as we've said, just comfortable to slow the game down to their speed. Venom beats one man, gets 50 by another, but the control, once again, Onesie just has control of this ball, opts for a shot on net. Maybe Razor has a chance to do something with this, pops this down towards his own net. Actually, it's a little bit awkward. Refex having to burn his tank, manages to get a pre-flip reset to keep control of that ball, but once again, the time from Qantas just able to take this Panic, maybe with a jump across net to save it. Decides just relieve pressure char, but Qantas looking so in control.
Yeah, Qantas pushing for this second goal right now. Panic will take this one forward. Looking for something here, gets a mid pass, but couldn't get it far enough away from that defender. Razor now doesn't make contact on that ball. Refex off the backboard. Panic can't get it past Venom. Razor now with the shot. Venom again makes the save, but Qantas look a little bit low. They look a little bit awkward right now, and that one, if it had found the top corner, it would not have been met. But now Onesie will send it back down, but Refex is there to keep it out. And I believe Refex coming from this Qantas roster, he wasn't on it when Onesie was on it, but I do think they've teamed together in a previous season on Shadow before. So there's a lot of previous teammates here. There's a lot of history between all these players on the pitch, and it's an amazing matchup to watch both on and off.
I wouldn't like to speculate, but based on conversations I've had with people in the tier, I believe it was not an org side transaction to remove RefX. I believe he looked for different opportunities, found a higher team, and I mean, if he finds himself more comfortable with Atmos, then you can't really blame the guy. But so far, Qantas, even without him looking a bit more solid, a double commit does come through to prevent that, but maybe he can do some damage of his own on the ceiling here. Nick able to deal with that one, a ball straight down. Is Venom going to be able to get this away? Onesie, time and space on the ball. Never any quote that you want to hear if you're playing against him, but Atmos doing well on the defensive side. Razor has a little bit of space here, manages to get one over the pre-jumping defender. Venom with an awkward touch mid, manages to snuff out off his own touch, but bit of time here. Maybe Onesie, maybe a demo through. Nick, very low boost, maybe a bump onto net. Razor just dodging the bump and trying to launch an attack of his own. Maybe Panic has a read off the backboard, but Venom just so solid in defense for this Qantas side.
Onesie now trying to take this one forward. Razor able to cut it out. Demo coming out though, effects into the middle. Panic has a shot, but Nick manages to get the save. That was a well-placed shot from Panic, but Nick did really well to be equal to it. Now Onesie with 3 touches, the bumps coming in meanwhile from Razor. A little bit of a tussle in the net there. Now Onesie forced into the save off the sidewall. Gets the second touch as well. Nobody there from Atmos. Nick to the backboard, but Panic able to keep it away. They need to keep this ball up if they want an equalizer. That's dangerous, but no one from Atmos up for it just yet. Reflex will keep this one up. Venom Aspect trying to drop it. That's into the middle. Panic's up for it. This could drop down if Razor is able to get it, but he has no boost. The ball will hit the ground, and Qantas 2-0 up here.
And Qantas barely hang on an unfortunate pop backwards. We will see if Atmos may be thinking about taking their time out here. 2-0 in the series, so pivotal to come back just from here, but having to come back from reverse sweep is even harder, and it's shades of what we saw against Ember. Qantas just controlling the pace of the game. We didn't get to see the stats for very long there, but I can't recap that Qantas only having 4 shots to a 9 from Atmos. We did see a lot more pressure. You did say yourself, Char, at the end of that game, Atmos looking a bit more controlled in the final minute. Maybe we'll have a bit of a closer game, and Atmos, they kept the pressure going, but it was Qantas who took the opportunities when they came, and it was that bump, it was that demo, it was that overcommit that came through from Onesie and Venom Aspect, and I think that's absolutely going to be Qantas' bread and butter going forward.
Yeah, 100%. Qantas, not quite the amount of goals they had in the last game, but they had a lot of saves here. I believe 8 saves combined between them, so they didn't have the level of pressure, but they were still able to hold Atmos to not a single goal in that game number 2. And they played so well to do that. Such solid defensive Rocket League in that game too. A bit different than what we saw in game 1, but both of them got over the line, and Atmos choosing not to take a timeout. We'll see how that decision does pay off, but right now it's do or die for them, Dispatch. Venom Aspect tries to get this one across. Onesie now into the middle. That's a team pinch. Oh my god!
Wow. What a pinch coming through, and complete out of 157. What was a miscommunication turns into a stroke of luck for Atmos, and we spoke about that opening goal being so pivotal for Qantas, but this time around Atmos getting a little bit lucky, but a goal's a goal at the end of the day, and they'll be buzzing to get a lead going forward.
This is the second team pinch I've casted this postseason. Got one in the lower final of Academy on 0 seconds to equalize. And then that one, I'm not sure which was more insane, because that one was just so much faster. That was unreal, and a great way to open the scoring for Atmos. Maybe not entirely calculated, but they'll take it. Reflex almost put a really nice shot into the net, but not quite to be on this occasion. Onesie now into the middle. Venom Aspect can't get the shot onto the net. Onesie's up for it again, but that'll just lead to a little bit of an overcommit. Razor off the corner. Panic has the shot, and he finds it. All of Qantas in the same corner there. Onesie with the ball side rotation. Venom Aspect as well with the ball side rotation, and that just completely leaves the net open for Panic.
Overconfidence striking at the worst moment, and when you're two games up even in the series, you do get a little bit comfortable. Nick barely managing to save that one. I thought he'd put it in his own net, but that third touch off the post just denying another goal from Atmos. But I mean, Qantas now looking a little bit more panicky, no pun intended, as he hits the ball, but maybe Nick with a chance pops it over to up to the backboard. Refx is there to meet, but Atmos maybe a chance for another attack. Refx is in the middle, a weak touch from Razor. This one goes low. Nick, time and boost, manages to flick over one. Razor is left. Low boost managing to pop that one away, but the pass is looking amazing from Qantas. Maybe a chance for a double tap, maybe a shot for Nick. Panic falling down from the backboard, buying some time. The ball back in the middle. Venom Aspect a little bit late to it. Still manages to speed out Razor. The boost looking so low. Refx able just to secure that one, but who else but Onesie? Time and a flip reset. Looks for the Musty. Nick, maybe a pass off the corner here. Maybe one more, but this dexterity side, we've seen what they can do mechanically. They're not getting any of these clips yet, but Atmos doing well to defend at 2-0 up.
One bounces up. Venom Aspect will be onto it, but like he said, really good defending there. It feels like Atmos in this game are matching everything that Qantas throw at them and getting a lot of their own as well. 7 shots to 3 in favor of Atmos as the halfway mark passes in this game. That's a nice touch from Onesie. Puts Panic under a little bit of pressure, but he deals with it very well. He doesn't panic, if you will. Venom sends this one forward. Razor, touch off the ceiling, demo onto Venom, will force Nick to turn for that one. Onesie lurking upfield, looking for the redirects. He is capable of those kind of shots. The defender manages to cut it out there, though. Razor now hits it down. Refx trying to chase onto it, might just find its way all the way in. Nick, he probably wasn't expecting to need to make that save, but when he was called upon, he did his job. Can he do it this time? No, he can't. Panic may have gotten his way a little bit. It doesn't matter. Razor 3-0.
Venom Aspect just thrusting a little bit too hard in the touch from Onesie there, as you would from a play from him. That's not a knock on Onesie. I would absolutely turn out for the ball, as would yourself, but you get a little bit too aggressive when you're 2-0 up. Sometimes you make mistakes. Maybe a disconnect coming through for FX. The ball does trickle in. I believe a miscommunication maybe on the kickoff. He might have some technical issues. He is stationary in the box off kickoff. Panic turning it into his own net, but Atmos here, this could be a really bad situation.
Yeah, we'll need to see if Refx is able to go again, and he has lost connection, but I think because of the time and the fact that goals have been scored, they've just got to play on here. They need to hold out, but Venom Aspects will make that so much more difficult. 3-2 now, and Atmos, they have a minute and a half to hold out with a 2v3.
And this is just so unfortunate. You go 3-0 up in a pivotal game 3, you still have your timeout, and you have to play a 2v3 without Refx against very, very good twos players in Nick and Onesie, and even Venom Aspect as well. They're going to be so controlling of this game, and all they need is one more goal to get level. If Refx can get back in, then it'll be good, but Panic trying to hold on for his team. Maybe there's a little bit of space for a Musty here. Nick ready to block it out. As we can see, Panic just staying on this ball, buying as much time as he can, but it'll be Razor now, left on defense by himself. Opts to jump for the ball, has a little bit of time, and no boost in net here. We see a goal come out from Atmos. Onesie getting a little bit too comfortable in the 2v3. The boost not there, and Panic sinks that away, and they keep the 2-goal lead that they had.
Yeah, and that's one way to make the holding out a little bit easier here for the two on the side of Atmos. And now we do have Refx back in the lobby. I believe it is a different name. Not quite sure how that's happened, but I think it is him. It's Refley. It doesn't matter though. Onesie has scored. We're back within 1.
It is Refx. It is the same profile picture. I've seen a few bugs like that recently. I saw it in the last series as well. People's names changing. Flossie's changed from Abdul after game 1, but I mean, he does join back just in time. His team has held on without him, and with 50 seconds left, chart 1 goal for Qantas. They've got a little bit more momentum, I'd say, than Atmos. Refx kind of rushing in to get back after what could have been a crash, could have been anything, but a pass through coming in. Maybe Onesie a chance for a shot. Venom Aspect, maybe a chance for cleanup, maybe a cutback on this ball. Refx is left last, manages to beat it over one, and Venom Aspect keeps stepping up whenever you want him and does it all by himself to level the game.
Yeah, Venom Aspect will tie for play from him, and yeah, tied up for 3 seconds left. Can anyone make the difference here in regulation, or will we be going to overtime? Razor, that's a shot on net. The bump from Refx doesn't quite connect. Panic gets the 50. Refx has to win that race, but Nick is able to get it up. Razor now off the sidewall. Refx trying to turn on this one. Gets another touch as well. Venom Aspect hits it down. Panic able to get this touch out, and as time trickles away here, Dispatch, these teams in a deadlock. We will find overtime.
Absolutely, and it's the exact same thing we saw. It's the same script from Ember versus Qantas. We do get a game 3 OT, and that one was long. I believe it was a 4-minute, maybe 3-minute overtime, but if you're Qantas, you've been here today already. You've won every single game that you've had so far, and you'll really be looking to get back into this. Bit of a stroke of luck with the disconnect. Can Atmos bounce back from what was looking like a clear Game 3 win? They do have a chance to go for it here, but Nick's in control. Manages to get round one. Panic is the last man. Is anyone there in the middle? Onesi's ready for it. Maybe a touch off the wall. Tries to look for the mid pass, but a demo came through from Razor on the defense. Panic's up for this ball. Bit of a chance there, but Qantas take possession. 0 boost. Is this an open net for Nick? Is it just left? Panic dives to save it on low boost. Onesie, another pass middle. Is anyone there? Oh my goodness. Atmos playing life on the edge right now, getting away with murder.
Razor now will pop this one up. Onesie manages to get the save on it and the follow as well. Gets a really nice 50, but gets demoed, and that'll give Panic just a little bit of space. Only needs to send it right back down the length of the field. Onesie gets a touch forward. Razor a little bit awkward. That one's just popped high. Venom up to the talk. Nick can't get the shot on though. Panic able to keep it out. Now Onesie trying to take it forward. Venom Aspect as well on it. Panic forced into the save. It's Panic stations here for Atmos, but they manage to get it out. Onesie on the sidewall gets the 50. Gets another touch as well. Looking for the third on the bump, but can't quite find it. And as we approach the 2-minute mark, Dispatch, both of these teams have had chances, but neither able to stink this overtime. Maybe it's Hill now with the double tap. Panic, absolutely unreal.
I was about to say, maybe it's the same as Ember versus Qantas, but the car control from Panic, you can't even do anything but throw your hands up if you're Venom Aspects there. What an angle! Double off the wall, onto the backboard, contorts his car around, and oh, with everything that happened and went wrong for Atmos there, they'll be screaming in VC they got that game.
Yeah, unreal way to end it, and that'll do so much for the mental, so much for the morale here. Massive, massive play from Panic, and massive win here for Atmos. Only 2-1 down now in the series. If you let that get to 3-0, you let that get to the point where you need a reverse sweep, then it is all alarm bells ringing at that point. But they managed to get that game over the line, and now they are just within 1 here of Qantas.
And the only concern you'd have as Qantas is when there was 3 players on the field for pretty much near the end of game 2 and most of this game, aside from the disconnect, Atmos did look like the better team. They look like they've found their foot in this series. They've found their identity. They know they can get aggressive, and they think they can break through what was an impenetrable wall last season in the Qantas defense. But with both teams having a timeout, a chance to either go to 3-1 for Qantas or bring this back to a draw, settle it into that best of 3 for Atmos. Could go either way in game 4, Char.
Yeah, we'll see which way it does go. Refx is back to being just Refx here in Game 4. Maybe it was the name change buff, though. Maybe we'll see Qantas go back on top. That's yet to be discovered, but we do get underway here. for our game number 4, and it starts off with a little bit of Atmos pressure, but Qantas managing to make the save. That's into the middle though. Onesie will beat Panic to that ball. Get another touch as well. That's a shot though from Razor, and he absolutely snakes the top corner.
And this Qantas defense looking shakier and shakier. Nick's just not ready, and what a play shot. 107 to the top right, and you don't see that every day. Brilliant shot from Razor just off the beat, and you can't even be mad about the defenders. Nick did have boost, and even though his positioning was great at the back post, nothing much to be done. A pre-flip catch going through for Panic. Over 1, over 2, maybe a chance for another shot. Razor up off the backboard. Onesie going for a squishy save on low boost. Reflex is there to tap that one in, and I did say I must have looked like the better 3v3 team, and 30 seconds in, looking miles ahead of Qantas in game 4.
Yeah, Reflex adding the second here. Atmos starting off this game with a bang, trying to get their own little streak of momentum up here. Qantas, they had those 6 games in a row that they managed to win against both Ember and this Atmos side, but now that has been taken down. But Onesie, he will put them back within 1 half the lead, and Qantas, they respond quickly.
Absolutely beautiful pre-flip off reading that ball off the wall there. Refx tried diving, but just wasn't ready for Onesie to be able to get that touch, and we're seeing a lot more goals coming through. We saw the very quiet game 2, the 1-goal win, and then we saw absolute goal slogfest in the last one. Maybe Venom Aspect just gets an extra touch. His teammate's not ready for low boost on the side of Atmos. It's just Panic with boost. This one will go high. Onesie with a pass down. Venom Aspect with a pass mid. Nick ready for that. Off the bar. Maybe a shot for Onesie. A beautiful team play. About 6 touches coming through from Qantas. Looping the ball over Atmos, and nothing they could do there.
Yeah, Atmos just a bit stressed out on the defense there. All 3 players jumped for that ball, but they were all such low boost, so awkward, and unable to do anything about that finish. And now Panic gets an air dribble over the defender, can't get the finish onto it though. Venom Aspect will get that touch out. A nice bump coming through. We'll leave that ball for Nick with the catch, but Reflex, a very good cut there, because that was a dangerous situation. Panic now trying to show off his mechs, but Onesie, he doesn't want anyone else to show off mechs except for him. Reflex trying to take this one forward, no boost. Venom Aspect will control it. Really nice first touch, but gets challenged right off it. Onesie trying to take this one forward. Both of these teams equal here. Both of these teams with 2 goals so far in this game, with just over 3 minutes left.
Onesie just looking to fake around a man there, and a double commit does come through from the back line of Atmos. Maybe a chance for a reset here. Razor knocking that ball high. Is Onesie ready for it? He isn't, but Panic is. And these bangs just, it's just the backboard plays that are catching both these teams on both ends of the pitch, making people panic. Hard read from Onesie at speed, but Panic decides to play the miss, and he guesses correctly not to go for the 50 years. Once again, we go just under the 3-minute mark here, but 5 goals already in game 4.
Yeah, and Panic there just trusting that Onesie wouldn't hit that one. Razor, well, we saw him snipe the top corner for the first goal. He couldn't quite do the same here. That's a bit awkward though. That's a miss, and Venom will just take it through. And we haven't seen this level of goal scoring from both teams yet in this series.
Absolutely not. The last one being completely fueled by that disconnect. I believe 3-0 down, but I think maybe we've seen another disconnect. And there is a message coming through in chat. We have not. I believe one of the players faking out on the kickoff. Bit of gamesmanship coming through there. Trying to bait the other team into thinking that there had been a disconnect and maybe change their kickoff. But these sneaky tactics are not going to take you far. This Qantas team ready for it, and they are low boost in their own half here, trying to get this ball out. And just pop this one high, but Reflex is ready. Onesie is ready. Both players miss. Onesie actually gets a touchdown at the end. Venom Aspect with low boost, with time, with a flick, maybe to the top left corner. Everyone misses. Maybe Onesie can get a pass. Maybe a shot goes right around. Manages to just collide with his teammate, but Nick unable to reach that regardless. Razor, maybe a chance for a double tap, but really catch by Venom. Maybe a chance for a pass out. Panic opts not the ball high, but Nick will collect on the backboard. Maybe a chance for a double tap off the wall here. Try to leave some pressure for his team, but the low boost coming out once again. A bump comes through. Onesie still able to reach that ball, and Qantas and Atmos just trading blows so far at the end of this game.
The shot from Onesie, but Panic able to come in and make the save. Reflex now trying to take this one forward, gets a nice flick onto it, but Venom is equal to it. Atmos trying to put this pressure on, trying to find this goal, but it is Qantas that take this one forward. Razor able to send it right back, but Onesie gets that ball. Razor staying on it though, getting the dunk, making sure that he does not have a free uncontested ball. That's a bit awkward for Reflex. He puts it into the middle, but team pinch not quite working for them this time like it did last time. Onesie lifts the shot, but he misses. He had to aim for that side of the net, but at this level, you really should expect to be scoring that one.
And that one could come back to hurt them. Maybe he can redeem himself. Maybe get past middle for his team here. A great 50 out from Venom. One man left. Nick just misjudges the ball slightly. Onesie's left last here. Panic tries to fake him out, but not biting. Ready for that ball. Venom, with a bit of time, opts to take it as slow as he can. Invites a little bit of the pressure. Manages to pop over one. Is anyone there to follow? It is Nick on the ball. Refx and Onesie chasing for this one high. Venom with a bit of an uncharacteristic heavy touch, and Panic taking this one high. Maybe a reset, maybe a musty. A double commit coming through. Another double commit comes through on the other side. Both teams kind of getting desperate. Onesie manages to cut the ball over one. Venom will try burn this ball out. Will it hit the ground? Will we get to overtime? Both teams do try to keep it up, but Char, arguably the most important overtime so far. We saw one in the last game, but this one could mean everything for this series.
Beck might be about to end it just as it's begun. This is dangerous still. Razor not willing to push up on that one, and Atmos, they almost get a goal off the kickoff. The worst goals to concede in all of Rocket League, in my opinion. Overtime kickoff goals, those ones always hurt, but Qantas managed to avoid it on this occasion. Reflex now trying to take this one forward. Nick though, this is just opening up for him, but he doesn't really have the boost to capitalize on it, and Panic will look to just take this one away. Only as far as Venom though. That's a nice dunk to get it over. He's still on it here, Panic, but Nick manages to clear it away. These teams cannot let this overtime get to them. They cannot start trying too hard. We saw it a little bit at the end of regulation that they just started pushing a bit too hard for this goal. He doesn't make contact.
Oh, it's so close. Just these fine margins. Venom looking for a bang just to try to relieve a bit of this pressure. Razor low boost himself. Onesie will send it backwards. Panic is backwards on this ball. Maybe it could float all the way in. Does Razor get to it? Panic knocks it down nearly into his own net. Almost a disastrous moment for Atmos, but both teams kind of getting away with some mistakes. This is where it matters. Maybe a shot through to the back post. Everyone misses, but RefX will collect. Maybe this ball goes over Razor's head. Very solid touch, but Panic with low boost. Once try to look for this ball. RefX will jump for him. 50 through towards this Qantas net. Razor dives, manages to beat one on low boost. Maybe a chance for a dunk here. Panic looking to take control. It's RefX on the ball. Maybe he can try to go up. Razor accidentally steals the boost and the ball from his teammate. Onesie with a 50 down. Maybe he looks for a bump on net here. The shot just wide, right in the palm of Razor. And both these teams mechanically just stretching each other to their limits.
Almost now. Trying to put this pressure on. That's a double commit though. A double commit for that high ball, and Qantas will just walk it into the back of the net. Both of the last players going for that, and that dispatch is such a poor way to lose this game for.
I can't say it wasn't coming. We've seen it from these teams. We know what Dexterity have done. We saw it all last series against Ember. They will just get that beat on the last man, and both teams looking jumpy, as you said, in the end of regulation. But just look at Onesie. 3 goals, 4 saves, nearly 70 ball touches, just completely in control of this lobby. His team just rallying behind him, and I mean, a great showing from both teams, but still no timeout call yet from Atmos. All three players readying up straight away. 3-1 in the series now for Qantas. It's a really big task to come back for Atmos.
Yeah. 3-1 here against this Qantas side. They've done one better so far than Ember were able to accomplish, but this Qantas side, they'll use that momentum from that overtime, from winning that, and take that into this next game and hope to use that to put the pressure onto this Atmos side. And we'll see if they can do just that. We're getting into Beckwith Park, game number 5. Lives on the line here for Atmos. One more game lost and you are out of the challenger tier.
And this is everything that they have worked for, and we spoke about Deathcloud having some misfortune during the season with some roster issues, availability issues, and that final week meaning a lot, but Panic backflips when it matters most, and of course, Onesie ended the game and starts this one with a goal again.
Yeah, and to concede the way they did in the overtime before, and then to start off the next game like that, it's really tough to come back from that, from the mental. They might concede another one here. Pretty much the worst way they could have started this game, both in-game and off the pitch mentally.
Of course, a kickoff goal and 3-1 down in the series, 2-0 down in the game in 8 seconds. I can't say that Atmos are completely out this yet. They have been incredibly competitive in this series, and there's so much Rocket League left to play, but it could just be a cascade of goals as Venom trying to get one over FX. Nick does have control of this ball. No one challenging him yet. Razor unable to reach that one off the backboard. Is it Onesie's chance for his clip? He's been looking for it this entire way. Maybe over 1, maybe over 2, but FX does so well to deal with it. Another double commit coming out for Atmos. It's looking like this frustration is leading to some communication errors as Panic looks for the shot high. Onesie nearly pre-flipping into his own goal. Nick will try buy some time at the ceiling. There will be a play here to collect. This ball goes high. Panic isn't up. Razor's not up yet, but with Venom having so little boost, it's so difficult. Razor pre-jumping this ball. No one ready for it. And once again, another double commit coming out for Atmos, Joe.
Yeah, that's a shot, but it's just over Atmos. With the double commits, they seem to be panicking here. They know that this is it. This is their tournament life on the line, their season on the line, and they need to respond. Onesie hitting this one to the backboard. Razor will be able to take it out. That's into the middle. Razor taking it away from Panic, but fortunately gets the flip, and now they're bumping each other. I'm not quite sure if that was a rule 1. I don't think you can blame them too much if they did break it, even though it is the #1 rule in Rocket League in this situation. I think we'll let them off. Onesie taking this one forward. Nice air dribble, trying to get the ground pinch as well. Reflex will be able to keep it in. Raised off the ceiling, but just no one able to get there from Atmos, and 3 minutes left. They still have time dispatch, but they need it, and they need it soon.
Bit of frustration, it looks like. They're just not on the same page. You've really got to ask, what if they took this timeout and just had that extra 2 minutes to speak with each other, try to figure things out, because it looks like there's no trust. Every single ball that goes high for this team, like Refex's pass here, someone has to be middle. Panic was there for that one, but unfortunately, it doesn't fall into his lap. He'll have to take matters into his own hands here. Maybe a pass, maybe a bump over 2. Onesie's ready for it. Qantas looking so sound defensively. Atmos just can't break through. A bump comes through. Maybe a pass through to Nick here ahead of the ball. A 50 down. Venom has some time. Opts to try pop this ball high here. Refx just floating with it, but as we've seen, Qantas just back off a million times. They're happy to invite this space. They're happy to invite the pressure. Another bump comes through from Onesie. Maybe a pass forward. Is he going to have a chance? Redirect, flip reset. Maybe a shot there. Refx is ready for it, but Qantas looking so in control so far.
Yeah, and ever since those 2 goals, they're kind of playing a little bit of Park the Bus Rocket League here, which is a dangerous game against players of the quality of this Atmos side, but It's working for them for now. Refx able to hit that one away. Onesie now with a forage forward. Will just bang it straight to that backboard, straight into the hands of Panic. Lovely control from him, getting the 50 up high. Venom will get the beat onto that one. Onesie and Refx 50ing that. Panic trying to get that to the backboard. Venom needs the touch, but passes it out to Nick nicely. Now Refx a little bit awkward on the sidewall. That one goes mid for Onesie. That's off the backboard for Venom. That's the shot onto net. And that is a lovely Qantas goal.
With 123, it is do or die for Atmos.
Triple
They
commit.
haven't had the shots, haven't had the goals, and as you say, Chad, the triple commit. It's all these double and triple commits that are just adding up over these last 2 games, and I did speak about it. I did mention the comms, the trust, the chemistry. This Qantas side has worked so hard to develop their playstyle, to play together. They've been grinding scrims all week, and as I said, I haven't seen Death Cloud as available. I haven't seen them on the game as much. Maybe a chance for another one, but it's looking like a complete gap in work ethic. And well, the talent is there on this Atmos side. They just don't look as together as a team as Qantas is, because everything that they're throwing at them, Char, Qantas have an answer for.
Yeah, just under a minute left here for Atmos to save their season. Onesie touching this one forward, trying to get the second touch, but does not make contact with it. Nick now will fly for that ball, will get the shot onto net. Panic saves it away, but they're having a lot of action down at their end. They need action down at the other end. 30 seconds left here. 3 goals dispatch. Every second that goes by makes it less and less possible. And I think with this ball in the Atmos half, we can say with almost certainty, Qantas, they've done so well in round 1, getting a sweep, only dropping 1 game in both rounds combined, and they will be moving on from round 1 of playoffs. The 5th seed from the Glaciers Conference will be making to Championship Saturday.
That is number 4 and number 6 from Ignis out in play-ins, and there's been a little bit of discussion, if you've seen Char, about strength of conferences, strength of schedules, etc. But it's Glaciers that finds their way through to take that spot in playoffs, and they absolutely deserved it. Look, a much better team today. Atmos had some flashes, but I mean, the shots were similar, more saves, the possession was similar. Across the board, very, very similar. Only 5 goals more, but those 3 more game wins is what matters, and Qantas having a great run today. 8 game wins, 1 single loss. Maybe a dark horse going into playoffs from this lower bracket.
Yeah, they look really, really strong tonight, and like you say, definitely looking like a dark horse coming into this, and a lot of that is down to Venom aspect, a captain's performance, a series MVP performance from him in that series. Very, very well played indeed. 8 goals, 12 saves as well. Both ends of the pitch, Venom aspect was making a difference here for Qantas.
And we saw in that first game, I believe it was 4 goals of the 8 he scored in that one game. Set the pace for his team, said, all right, lads, I've got us. And he absolutely showed out. Brilliant showing from Venom aspect. The captain looked great, was potentially the sub for this roster at one point, proved his worth, rebuilt this team himself as the captain, and no one can take away from him how well he's performed today.
Yeah, and no one can take away from Qantas how well they have performed as a team. 4-0, 4-1 into the playoffs. Amazing performance from them. And I look forward to seeing what they still have in the tank on Saturday. But that will conclude the lower bracket for tonight. But that's not us done for this evening dispatch. We have another matchup coming soon.
We do. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with some fresh faces.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
This is trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths. So you basically, you know the skill trees from Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, Sekiro, you know that sort of games where you have to, get skill points, use them, you unlock new skills. This is sort of very similar, but instead of actually getting skill points, you're actually doing the mechs. And also a cool feature as well, guys, watch this. You can slow it down. You can actually slow-mo it like this. So if you're really struggling, what you need to do, you can actually look for yourself and just have a look at them exact sort of movements that you're doing there. Look, it's really cool. I really like it. And
alongside helping with mechanics, it also has a feature that analyzes any of your saved replays. That way you can see what you're doing well and what you need to improve on. It even has this cool post-game analysis that you can see stats from the game you just played.
Two games down and one to go here in the Challenger play-ins. Day one continues to impress, and well, a specific dexterity Qantas continues to get more wins on the board, but they made it through to the playoffs happening on Saturday. It's time to send one more team down to that lower bracket and one more team through that upper bracket. My name is Hodge, and joining alongside me for this final cast of the day, of course, the wonderful Tez. And well, Tez, I mean, two teams here, two very good league play journeys, one of them moving forward in the bracket.
Yeah, and we'll have to see which one of them can find their way through. Mistaken coming second within their league, and you can see it as well in the play-ins. The bracket as it stands, you're mentioning Dexterity going all the way through from that round one. And now we are up to that upper bracket with Vulpes Polita versus Mistaken Dynasty. And we'll see which of them can actually find their way through, because it will be a good one. The league play stats there. Vulpes coming third in their conference. Mistaken coming second. It's a bit of a difference now in terms of wins and losses. And you'd have to think that Mistaken have had a better league play season so far.
Yeah, they did, and well, they finished second in their conference, like you mentioned. Vulpes finishing third, but it has been a difficult sort of journey, through the Challenger tier as a whole. These guys, though, have made it light
work of it. Let's have a look at the player stats as well, if we do in fact have them. And well, you can have a look and see, all the different things on this roster. The thing that's standing out for me here is that, Mistaken, they have a couple of players with not quite as many games on there. Obviously, Peeper's that sub, but then Francis as well, that new player who's come in from MPB about halfway through the. I tell a lie. At the end of week 4, coming into that Mistaken team. So with only about 1 week of experience with this roster, give or take a couple of scrims while the Academy and Prospect playoffs and play-ins were happening last week, it's a bit of a newer sort of combination for this Mistaken team. So Pallid are going to have the greater side here, Tez, when it comes to synchronization and team play in terms of experience, but Mistaken Dynasty approaching this with a little bit of a fresher feeling to it.
Yeah, and they're going to want to prove that just because it's a newer team doesn't mean that it will be going badly for them. They can show that just they're able to adapt quickly to each other, shall we say, and hey, we'll have to see whether or not they actually can against this Polita side. They do look pretty good as well, but hey, how about this? We get some predictions underway and we get some Rocket League played.
What if I don't want to do that?
Well, too bad. It's gonna get done.
Okay. No, I just wanted to see what you'd say, to be honest. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go 4-3 to Mistaken on this one. I do think Mistaken, are a team who are being sort of looked down upon a bit by a lot of people, especially when we did the RS cast predictions earlier on, because they're that newer side. I do think Vulps have a great chance of doing really well in this bracket, so you can't count them out. But I'm gonna go Mistaken. Give me Francis on this one, my Geordie boy from Newcastle. And yeah, I don't know. What have you got on this one?
I think I'm also gonna go with Mistaken Dynasty, but I'm gonna bring this to 4. I'm gonna say 4-2. I do think it will be a bit harder, especially since Mistaken just, of course, coming better in their conference. They only lost 2 series compared to Vulps losing 4, so I do think that will be taken into account. Mistaken, they probably will just look slightly better. I do think it will be a 4-2 to them, and yeah, let's hope that we can get everybody in the lobby very soon, and this play-in's nearly over, but that does not mean that all the action is gone for the week. We'll have more tomorrow in the Challenger tier, and then Thursday, Friday will be Rival, if I remember correctly.
You are correct.
Okay. And then we shall hopefully get it all underway, but Mistaken, Vulpes, let's get things started today. It is the time to see whether or not you can stay up in this upper bracket, or will you fall down to make your run slightly harder on that championship Saturday.
Well, we are going to get a quick lobby remake due to the players being a little bit unhappy with the ping here. So we'll get the lobby remade and then we will get the game underway. But yes, it's time to send one team forward in the bracket and one team down into that lower bracket. It is, I guess, the start of our play-ins week here for week 2 here in our play-ins, Tez, and yeah, we move into the middle tiers in RSC, Challenger and Rival, kicking it off here with Vulps Paddler versus Mistaken Dynasty. And can this Vulps roster do what the Prospect team did? They set the example on Sunday, getting that tier win over DSQ Cayano in the grand final, and well, it wasn't particularly too close across the entire day, but now let's see if they're going to be able to sort of carry that momentum forward into the the Challenger tier here as well.
Yeah, Vulpes wanting to get that franchise of the season. They've already won one tier. They're hoping they can win another, and it all starts within here, as Polita will want to prove their franchise correct, why they've stuck together for so long, but Mistaken are gonna want to be that thorn in the side and try to make sure that Vulpes stick to a one tier win, sorry.
Yeah, well, I believe everyone is ready to go, so we'll tell the players to go. We'll tell them to join up. It is time to get this one underway. Manfield Knight calls for game number 1. That's Vulps Pallida, Mistaken Dynasty. 2 teams with 2 impressive league plays, but only one can surge forward through this upper bracket. And it's already this team of Palada that want to start off on the better side. A great infield there from Blizzy over to Senna. And it's the first goal in 6 seconds. I can't count.
Yep, and it seems Mistaken just had no defense around. There was no one able to get back in time. And you'd think that, especially this early on, you wouldn't want to get a goal conceded so quickly, because that could just make the nerves come a bit harder. And I'll have to see whether or not they can come back from this one. Elusive is able to bang that ball forward. We'll try to find a touch into the midfield. And that one not able to find the target, but Senna is there for the follow-up. And Vulpes are now 2 goals up immediately.
Absolutely so. Vulpes kicking off the game in a strong fashion. And let's see if they're going to be able to continue doing so here. Off the kickoff, Mistaken Dynasty, they want a response, and Francis is going to try and fake that one over the top, pop to the back wall. Where's that follow-up? There it is, but great save there from Elusive. Jo also trying to batter his way through, and finally, Mistaken Dynasty break down the brick wall of Palada.
Jo having to absolutely force that one in, got the 50, was able to use his flip to get a second, and the boost just make sure it finally finds a way over the net. And they do bring one back. It's only been about 35 seconds. There could be a 4th goal scored, but it's saved away from Jo in time, and Elusive now gets to collect. Will try to keep it in the skies, try and maybe pinch it with Senna, but it goes outfield. Blizzy taking one touch, finds the pass midfield. Jo is there, so he gets to pop it high. Francis will go up. Blizzy is there too, but Francis does get the dunk, so it makes things a little bit harder for Vulpes, but they are staying alive for now. They keep hold of that 1 goal lead, and they're trying to maybe find a way to make it 2 again.
Certainly so. Popped up there. Challenge off the ceiling here from Francis. Just cut that out quickly before Palada are able to really make quick work in covering this field. Elusive in field will be picked up there by Buddha. And hit out there by Blizzy, looking for Sen. But Jeho going to cut that one back out. Elusive back into the play. And Palada want to sort of get aggressive here and continue to add to their goal lead. Sen back in field looking for Blizzy. You can see the same play being recycled again here by Palada. And it worked out a couple of times, but now not really in the past few minutes working out quite to the same success. Down the other side, however, Jo will find the open net off of the back of an incredible demo that came through from Buddha.
Yeah, and Mistaken are trying to create a dynasty with this team, and they have to make sure that they can get this first win to make sure it happens, as that kickoff goes out to Jo. Trying to stay with it, but it is a little bit awkward, so goes off the ceiling, gets 50 with Blizzy. Elusive, 1 touch, gets a second off the corner. Francis finds a 50. Blizzy going to fake the first touch, but will try to get around it though. Afterwards, it finds its way back midfield. Senna gets a 50. Elusive will be the first person onto it. Grabs it off of the side, trying to maybe find a pass to Blizzy in the midfield. Does so, and Blizzy is able to get the shot off in time. And they find the lead once again.
It's the perfect passing play for Palada here. And they retake the lead halfway through this game. It has been an absolute shootout here on Manfield night to kick off. You're up at round 1 here in the play-ins, and it's a shootout that both teams have come prepared for.
Yes, it is 5 goals in just under half of the game. Senna just going to slow the play down a little bit, tries to get the flick over Jo, but he's not going to let that happen. Blizzy gets onto it immediately, grabs that mid-boost, leaves the ball for Elusive, who takes it high, grabs the reset, but can't get around Buddha this time. Jo around 1. Can he do it now in a 1v1? No, the 50 goes into the corner, but Buddha is there. Will misread the bounce, so Francis having to pick it up. Instead, tries to just slow it down, leaves it then for Jo. Senna does take this one into the orange half. Francis does well to make sure any sort of pressure does get destroyed. And Jo with low boost, just go try fake the touch. Ends up faking out Buddha instead. Blizzy now getting the chance, trying to force that one in, tried to just bully the defense, but Mistaken do keep this a 1 goal deficit for now.
Jo now going to look to try and turn the tides here, try to bully this one past Elusive. And Sen will race first to it. Back in field. Francis was looking for Jeho, but turn wasn't quite there in time. He kept out here by Blizzy. He's now got the ball on top of his car, looking to fake the first one low, and the second played out than the 50. Elusive trying to re-establish this presence here on the attack, looking for the double, looking for the infield. He kept out there. The defense from Dynasty holding strong. But here comes the turn once again, and it seems Palada not quite done with this attack. They're sort of double dipping, triple dipping even, as they want to try and continue this one, but Jeho wants to say otherwise, clears it downfield, and maybe Mistaken Dynasty might get another chance to have a bit of a taste of their own medicine given over to this Palada side.
Yeah, Jeho trying to race this ball to get there before Senna does well. Grabs the reset off the ceiling. Can he find a shot? Grabs the Musty, and oh my word, Jeho! What a way to get that equalizer. Pushes it up onto the ceiling. Musties and Blizzy can't get enough of a contact to keep that out. 3-3 with 48 seconds remaining.
Well, sometimes you just look for these young players who add style points when you need it most. The mechanical wizard there that Dynasty needed, with not a lot of time left on that clock, and a goal and a play that needed to be answered. Ball to the back wall. Who's there with the follow-up? It will go back out to Butter here. Francis going to cut that one out. Mistaken Dynasty playing a little bit reserved. You can see how maybe both of these teams just want to drag this one into an overtime, but doesn't really matter either way. It will be golden goal here, likely so, to determine who comes out on top in game number one. That one's going to drop down. Blizzy will be there to put that one on towards Butter, put the pressure on Mistaken Dynasty as the seconds start to tick, the seconds start to close, another infield. This one not quite working out. Francis just needs a touch. Jeho looking for a desperate touch to clear that one out. And it will go to the overtime. It will go to that deciding goal here to see who kicks off the series in the best fashion.
And so far the leading pressure going in favor of Palada. They want to end this one. They tried to do it in regular time, but that defense from Dynasty was able to hold on. Jeho trying to find the pass midfield, but couldn't beat out Blissy this time. But the pressure is not gone. The attack is still going. They're trying to make sure this ball stays in the blue half. Senna on his own, able to get it away. Blissy, it drops down. Francis misreads. And Vulpes Palada take game one.
Yeah, it was a great pop to the back wall there, with Elusive in that 50. It drops down, and Palada capitalise. First game over to the Foxes. And now this already, based on the first few seconds of that one, I can tell, Tez, that this is going to be quite a contested series no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, it is looking like a prime game for sure in this challenger tier, this upper bracket. And we'll have to see whether or not Vulpes will keep that going, because so far they did play very, very well. But have to point out here, Mistaken Dynasty, Jeho getting all 3 goals there and was able to get 700 points. Had the most in the entire lobby, but because he didn't win, he didn't get that MVP. But he will want to bring it back for his team. He is clearly showing he is the full force of offense for this Mistaken side.
He certainly is. He had a great game there, I guess, from a solo perspective. Butter also incredible on the defense when Dynasty needed him. I think that was a bit of a poor game from Francis, but I know what he's like, and I know he's going to be more than able to bounce back and absolutely bring a good force here in response to Palada. But Palada set the expectation and are looking to set the record straight for the remaining 3 games that they need to fire themselves through the upper bracket and into playoffs Saturday. But here we go, onto the Temple for game 2. Can Vulpes Palada double down on their lead, or is Mistaken Dynasty going to respond with a similar nature of how their opponents kick things off in this series? Here we go. Francis immediately banging this one downfield, and you can tell here, Tez, that Dynasty immediately want to get this attack started.
Yeah, and they're going. Jeho grabs the reset, but Elusive will be able to get the ball away from him and grab a bump onto Francis. So The attack will slow down, but that does not mean that they have zero pressure remaining. Francis grabbing one touch at the midfield, will try to just bring this all the way to the other side. Try and maybe hand it off to a teammate, but Blizzy does well to cut it out. Jo getting one touch, gets bumped, but stays with it. Grabs the reset off the ceiling once again, but isn't able to do too much with it, unfortunately. They're just going to try bang this ball away. Trying to grab a second touch, grabs a reset, so we'll be able to take that corner boost away from Vulpes, but Senna will cut out the attackful move, but stays with it, trying to find the pass midfield. Blizzy is there, but can't turn it in. So Elusive just going to try pick up the pieces, send it off to Senna. Jo keeps it out. And so far, we're still at a tied game.
Ball gonna pop up. Elusive with the read. Buddha now with a difficult task at hand because the pressure from Paladin just continues to ramp up, continues to get more and more dangerous to the Dynasty that is already looking like it is crumbling. Game 2, 1-0 down. Can they turn things around here? Because you lose this game, and now things start to get a little bit panicky here, Tez.
Yeah, Mistaken don't want to be on that side of how these series can go. Jo trying to find the shot. There was a bump attempt as well, and he does find the bottom corner. So he's going to be able to tie this game up. And you can see Buddha trying to find the bump, makes a elusive jump. And Jo has an open net, basically.
The response there from Mistaken Dynasty. They want to continue. Show us plays like that. Sen infield. Francis pinches down the other side. We'll look to get another touch on this. Infield it goes. Blizzy there for the read instantly. And Sen will pick up off the back of that touch as well. Looks to be a three-man play. Elusive just lurking there for the follow-up. Instantly challenged out there by Francis. Shot from Buddha. Blocked away by Elusive. Some wonderful team play coming through here from both sides. But it's Paladin who just looked the most connected, the most locked in, the most synchronized. And that's sort of what we expected here from them, given the fact that they are the team in this series that has been together for the whole season, that, you know, has that chemistry compared to this Mistaken Dynasty team that, you know, switched things up a little. They brought Francis in only about, you know, a week and a half ago.
Yeah, and one thing you cannot teach is chemistry. That is something you need to build up. As Jo trying to do something himself. Francis does pick it up though, so we'll have to see, can he set up Buddha? The touch is there, but it's not going to be anything too dangerous for Vulpes to deal with. As Francis, no second touch means Senna can try get out of their own half, maybe start a counter-attacking opportunity. Buddha does well to get the 50, it goes outfield, trying to find a bump as well on Elusive, but he does well to keep this one out, but Jo gets the second touch, it does clear out downfield. Francis tries to put it up to the backboard, trying to get the double tap, ends up setting up Buddha, and for the first time this series, Mistaken Dynasty take the lead.
Yeah, wonderful touch to the back wall. Threatening the double was Francis. And you can see Jo just trying to threaten some of those bumps in the back of the net as well. Allowed such an easy setup there for Buddha to come in and clean up. But perfect positioning and a perfect response there to give Mistaken Dynasty the lead that they've been looking for.
Yeah, and it's one that they desperately needed. But it could go away. Buddha just about able to hold on to it. Blizzy stays with it, tries to find the pass out to Elusive. It goes high. Francis, no touch. Senna is following it up, but decides to take it slow. Ends up getting over two, and it drops down and in off of the bar.
That's wonderful there from Senna. Does it by himself. Over the top of essentially all three. Levels the scoreline, and this series already cooking. Both of these teams, you can tell how much they want it, Tez.
This is screaming game 7. I predicted it to go to 6, but with the way it's looking, we could indeed be going all the way here. As that 50 from Senna goes downfield. Blizzy does meet it. It's off the bar. Can it be turned in?
What?
To get it out with a pixel remaining, and it's off the bar.
Oh, did you watch that?
Oh my third somehow. Vulpes don't take the lead. HOU can go down the other side, tries to get it to the midfield. The 50 goes long. Blizzy off the backboard. Can he find the double? He misses the touch. And Senna can't get there in time. And somehow this game stays tied.
It certainly does, but for how long? Because Elusive's lurking for the shot just off the crossbar. Sen with the follow, also kept out there. HOU now going to have to pursue this one downfield. Look to try and capitalise while the defence is a little bit weak. Francis going to try and turn, play the fake. Allow Butter to come in. Take this one up that side wall. Immediately bumped out of the play, but HOU there for the read there to try and keep this attack going. They don't want to let this one turn in the other way, but it's a great pop, a great flick. Is it a great finish? though? Not quite. Kept out by Butter. Earns the Saviour medal again.
Yeah, and somehow it is staying 2-2. 10 seconds counting down. We could be on for 2 overtimes in 2 different games. Elusive going all the way to the side. It drops down, and we do indeed go to overtime in this second game.
Certainly do. Let's send that off that side wall. HOU is going to bring that over to the corner. Francis waiting to clear the immediate danger. Into this overtime. The second time this series out of 2. And it feels like that's how this series could just unfold the entire time. But infield, the pressure mostly has been from Padilla. Or Palida, excuse me. But Francis going to look to try and turn that one around. Elusive, great cutback, and the boost just wasn't there from Dynasty to really make anything of it. But sidewall attempt there from Elusive. A great setup over to Blizzy. Francis will clear. And Tez, it feels like this one could go either way, but Francis looks to be the difference maker off of that crossbar. Butter with a follow-up, and here we go again.
Oh my word, and now down the other end, HOU does well to keep this one away. Senna trying to push it back to midfield. Francis is there. Blizzy taking one touch, ends up setting up Elusive. Can someone be there for the shot? No, Francis gets in the way on time. Ends up just setting Senna up. So for now, we stay 1 minute gone in overtime. We'll see who can find the lead needed to take this game. Buddha trying to go downfield, maybe start a counter-attacking opportunity. Blizzy just slowing the play down, ends up faking out Francis, gets the 50 with HOU as well. Senna will be able to follow it up, stays with it, gets around 1. Buddha not able to get a good enough 50, so it goes off the corner from HOU. Elusive finding one touch, it goes back downfield, goes back to the orange half. They can't escape right now, and it seems like all of the pressure is there. Mistaken relying on counter-attacking opportunities. Elusive can continue to turn and go down the other end. It's off the backboard. HOU gets the clear out, and Senna will just collect. Tries to find a pinch, can't find the touch. It goes down to the midfield, an attempted bump, and the shot isn't good enough. So somehow we stay in this overtime.
Yeah, somehow, some way, nobody really knows, but it continues nonetheless. Butter 50 out and over to the side wall. Senna will be waiting there. Francis going to collect. Let's try and get another one here, but maybe bit off a bit more than he could chew. It will be HOU who comes in to sort of pick up the pieces here. But Blizzy has to be online on the defense, and certainly is. Sen, look to try and hold on to the possession here as Francis plays that 50. Sen, though, wins it. Back out from Butter. Elusive touches to the back wall. And Francis just looking for that big clear. Who's next to the play here from Dynasty? Nobody. And that allows a bit of a possession shift here. This gives Palida the chance that they've been looking for to break free. But Butter will collect. And both of these teams giving each other a little bit of space in the OT.
Yeah, neither side have really had a lot of continuous possession within this overtime. Palida have looked like they've kept more control, but still hasn't been insanely over-possessive. And that one sets up Buddha, but the shot is off target. Francis trying to make things awkward on the defense. HOU, the shot is on, the bump is through! And Mistaken Dynasty take the overtime in game 2, the complete opposite to the first game.
Well, when you soak up all that pressure and you withstand the Palida pounds that they were looking to bring to their opponents for that entire, essentially 8-minute game, with 13 shots on the board from Palida, not able to make it count. Dynasty finally found the counter-attack that they've looked for, and they make it count leveling the series here, Tez. Oh, this series already looks like it is going to deliver on every single level. 1-1, but each game has been so entertaining and feels like it could have gone either side. I mean, where does this series go next, right? Which way does it tip? Does it continue to be in the hands of Dynasty? Pallida there, excuse me, sort of fire back a little bit? I can't wait to find out, and game number 3 is where we're going to do so, but such entertaining Rocket League being played by both of these teams.
Yeah, I know we had said during the Academy playoffs and stuff like that, it was absolute cinema then. This already looks like it's going to be.
Hang on, let me hold things there. The Academy playoffs, for the most part, was absolutely boring compared to what I've seen from most seasons.
True.
But this is already looking like it's heating up. Maybe Challenger is where it's at here in RSC-18. And I don't think I'd ever say that. I don't think I'd betray my 2 lowest tiers. But maybe Challenger is where it's going to deliver. Who knows? It certainly is in this series. And it certainly looks like that could be where it continues.
Yeah, it already looks like this series in particular could be the best series we get in the entirety of play-ins or playoffs. We've had 2 overtimes in 2 games. If this keeps going, that is going to be a ridiculous way to start your play-in run. Certainly would be. Both of these teams, regardless of who wins it, it is a result that they're going to be quite happy with. Moving forward to that upper bracket, always good to start a Saturday. And Buddha, always good at the start of a game here to get that first goal on the board. And he's certainly done that here for his team. Francis with a pass in field. Blizzy not quite there with the read. Buddha capitalizes. And it's first goal here for Dynasty. Yeah, just too fast for Blizzy to get to. And it's a very needed lead for Mistaken. And they've been able to hold on when they've needed it most. Francis gets that ball downfield, ends up picking up the boost pad as well, so he can turn on this, tries to find the pass, but gets cut out by Elusive. That touch from Francis, though, ends up setting up Blizzy. The 50 goes well, but the bump is going to make things awkward for Dynasty. And now they have to pick up the pieces, go from 0, try to get a double lead, and maybe just find some sort of cushion. That 50 isn't in favor, though. Francis will be able to pick it up in time, but the pass down to Elusive, double commit coming through, but it works out in their favor. And Senna trying to keep this ball in the orange half. The pass comes through, but no shot that is really that dangerous. Means that they hold on for now.
Well, Blizzy now going to try and turn the tides infield, pop to the back wall. Jeho ready for the read, able to instantly remove the danger. And now Francis is going to look to be the danger man here. Bumps Elusive out of the way. Blizzy can't get a hand on it. And Francis, the attacking force that Mistaken Dynasty needed, slashes through the final defender. And Elusive not able to do anything about it.
Yeah, a very good bump coming through. A good play as well. And they are able to get a cushion for now, but we'll have to see, can they keep it? It doesn't look like they can for long. Francis getting back in time, but Elusive will be able to make sure that ball finally finds its way in. And the save just wasn't enough, ends up dropping it dead. And Elusive gets a free shot, and they take half of that lead down. And it seems as though Mistaken, that cushion you had, you need to bring back. And so far, Vulpes do look dangerous. The shot is on again. Francis able to make the save this time. One that actually stays out. Trying to go alone as well. A double commit coming through. But can he find a second touch? It does, but Elusive does keep it out. So Jeho picking it up from the midfield. Trying to grab the reset. Does well. Try to find a pass to Buddha, but Elusive will be able to cut it out. Blizzy can go the other way. And it can't be too dangerous just yet. Mistaken Dynasty, the defense is holding on for now.
For now, but for how long? Because here's Blizzy looking to try and put the shot together. Can't quite make it happen. Senna back in field. Francis going to collect here. Take this one down the other side. Play off at the back of that reset. Little resources to work with, so we'll have to scamper back here. But Buddha's there to play that 50. Take over here. On the ceiling, he pops it over to Jeho. And it will be well defended there by Palada. Blizzy going to collect Francis with the demo again, finding so much value on some of these bumps. It will be Jo to re-engage. Mistaken Dynasty looking to add to their lead here, Tez. And Buddha might be the missing piece of the puzzle that they need to make that happen, as Francis was there to capitalise on the pass as well. But Palada putting up the brick wall of defence. It seems to be working out for the majority for them.
Yeah, it does for now, but that is a big play coming through. The 50 finds itself straight into Francis's path, and he's able to slot that one home. Senna too awkward, and they do regain their 2-goal lead. And Vulpes, they need to find an answer.
They certainly do. And, well, Elusive could be the answer here. It's going to regain control of this ball. Take it up into the skies, play with that reset, play with the second one, but Francis wise to it. And it will be cut out there before Palada can really have the chance to do anything with it. This game looking a little bit more of a convincing one here, Tez. It looks like this could be Mistaken Dynasty going up 2-1 in this series, but still a minute left to go. Or just over, in fact, and still a Palada who are going to want to try and say otherwise.
That demo is going to make things easier for Dynasty to try get a 4th, but it does go downfield back into that orange half. Jo finding one touch. The 50 from Francis makes it finally enter that blue half once again, but Blizzy made sure it doesn't stay there for long. So Jo trying to do something himself in the air, doesn't grab the reset, but Buddha is able to take control over Francis. It does drop down to him now. After all, the touch was heavy and he had to avoid the demo, so he won't be able to keep the attacking pressure alive. A big whiff coming through from Francis. It sets up Senna, and the defense not able to find contact, and this is a 1-goal game now.
It certainly is. Palada cutting down the lead to 1. 30 seconds. It's absolutely winnable from here. And it all starts from the centre circle. See what kind of attack they can start to brew here. They've got a little bit of time to work with before you just got to start throwing everything at it. But better late than never. And it will drop there. Elusive going to catch. 15 seconds here. Blizzy going to leave that one for Sen. It's going to try and encroach on the defensive side of Dynasty. Infield, Elusive waiting for it. Cut out by Jeho. Buddha will try as he might, and it will work out pretty well for him. Looks like this one could just hit the ground, and the insurance is there. Dynasty go up 2-1, and look like they've come to play. Just when you thought things might start to fall apart as we got halfway through game 2, they answer the call, and they answer it well.
Yes, they do. They take the lead in this series now. Francis, you were mentioning before, had a poor game in game 1, but now he has turned that around gratefully too. So he is able to help Dynasty take the lead in this series, and hopefully they can hold on to this. And they will want to go all the way now without a drop. And who knows, they very well could.
Who knows, but that's what we're going to find out for the remainder of this series, right? It looks like this one is going to continue to be a sort of close affair here, there, and everywhere. But, yeah, I mean, game number 4, can Palada respond? That's what we're going to find out. But here we go on to the Coliseum, Tez. And I don't know, what are you looking for more to see out of this Palada side? Because it feels like they started off so well, but that game, you know, it ended up being close in the end, but the first minute and a half felt a little bit flat.
Yeah, I think the difference between game 1 and those last two was they did, like, keep on the possession. They tried to hold on to it a little bit more. They tried to get some sort of passing play through. They tried to bring the demos and the bumps into play as well. But since the end of game 2, well, I say anything, but it doesn't matter. Jo is just going to make sure that they suffer right now. Finds a great angle.
Good.
And able to turn that in like it's nothing. And Mistaken Dynasty, they take an early lead.
That's what you love to see here. Plays like that, angles like that, but down the other side, the defense a bit exposed. Jeho once again there when his team need him. And one more time as well here, just for good measure, just to keep this offense out. Francis got a touch down the other side. Sen going to be waiting there. Pop up. Look to try and re-engage. I'm not sure if that was really the play there. Could have just left it for Butter and it would have been a free ball. Risking giving the possession over, but it will be kept in the hands of Dynasty as they do look to try and get back on the attack. Senna, though, looking to try and pick their pocket. Blizzy going to react to this one. Look to pick up that 100 boost. Didn't quite get that, but did instead find the response of Jeho's Fennec, who blocked it away. And back and forth it will go between these two sides here, Tez. And it is Palada who looked for this response, as it feels like Dynasty start to increase, start to cook a little bit more, start to potentially run away with this series if they win this game.
Yeah, if they take this game, you have to expect a timeout to be called. There's a demo in the backline. Francis has a free shot, and he's able to make it count. Just enough power onto it that Elusive can't get back in time. And the 2-goal lead makes things so much harder for Vulpes and Palada.
2-0 lead. And almost 4 minutes to find a response. The task still more than doable for Palada. But you can't let this mistaken Dynasty roster start cooking like they are now, because when they come alive, it's so difficult to start prying it away from them. Blizzy will get a touch there, find the bump onto Francis, but are going to go and re-engage. Senna has to make a save and does, but it will drop over to Jo. To the ceiling he looks to go. He's got a mission ahead of him and not too much boost to work with, but does he need boost? Doesn't matter. Jo for the third. Mistaken Dynasty putting on a clinic here. And this man right here, Jo, an MVP performance from game number 1 all the way to now and all the way to the rest of the series, you've got to say.
Yeah, he is absolutely cooking up a storm. He is not letting Vulpes have any sort of hope. 3-0 now in this game 4. And it looks like it's already over. Just under 3 minutes remaining. And Vulpes Palada need to find an answer, because so far they've got nothing in terms of how to deal with Jo. As that ball gets cleared downfield, Blizzy does get the second touch, so it won't work out just yet for Mistaken Dynasty. There's still hope for Vulpes, but they need to at least get one here or now, because otherwise, with every second passing, Blizzy will be able to find the hope that they need, but it may just be a little bit too late.
Maybe it is. That ball clatters into the back of the net. Palada, they do find one. And 2 more needed. But you've got to start believing in yourselves here. Otherwise, you've got no chance. And Jo, and I look to try and just keep this lead intact for Dynasty. Send and try and slow this one down. But that's anything but what Palada have to do. They've got to speed the process up here a little bit. Got 2 minutes to work with. Elusive going to set himself up. Francis is going to tap that one away. Infield over to Sen, who looks for the shot. Blocked again there. Both of these teams giving it their all here. But so far in this series, it has been Mistaken Dynasty who've been the better side. And you can't really argue with that one.
No, you can't. They are absolutely all over Palada. They haven't let them take a second to breathe. Buddha trying to find the shot as well. Senna does get the 50, so Elusive trying to start some sort of counter-attack, but a big whiff means Blizzy has to cut his way in. Jo getting a clear out. Francis going up quickly, beats out Senna, but gets bumped. So Elusive, as a last man back, has to try and survive on his own. Does well to get the 50 all the way over the net. So Senna gonna pick up the pieces. Tries to get a 50, will continue to stay with this one, does well to get the midfield boost and find a touch. Maybe a bit of miscommunication as now Blizzy being demoed, having to spawn and immediately dead again means that the defense will have to survive with 2 players. They do well for now. Blizzy trying to find the shot on Jo, getting the save credit. It gets pushed up high. Another shot coming through, and once more Blizzy finally finding the target. And right now, 1 goal game.
Well, for the 2nd game in a row, Paladin threatening the comeback. Will it work out for them this time, though? Because last game they tried it. With about, 30 seconds left, and they weren't able to. But now off the kickoff, they're going to look for different results. Francis, though, going to just regress. Elusive beat out by Jo. And Blizzy drop that one down. Sen there, but so is Francis. Off of that crossbar. Elusive has to block. Can't quite do it. Francis back with a re-engage. Elusive with a save as well. Everybody getting a piece of the pie for Paladin. But now they need to get down the other side. They've got 20 seconds to do it. Elusive has to be the spearhead of this offense. Can't give them a free ball on that back wall. And it will go back over to Sen. Infield, cutting out, over to Blizzy. Trying to get past that last defender, but a great save from Butter on the goal line to find refuge here for Dynasty, to find the match point in this series. 5 minutes away from continuing through the upper bracket and having a match in their play-ins, in their playoffs on Saturday. Kicking off against the number 1 seed.
Mistaken Dynasty are just absolutely dissecting, really, Vulpes Paladin right now, and Paladin have had no answer. And so far, I think they're happy to just keep playing. I don't think they want to take their time out. And it is their last chance to do so, realistically. Because if they lose one more, they go down to that lower bracket. And Mistaken are going to make sure that happens. They have absolutely been everywhere, and they are not allowing Vulpes to breathe, basically.
They absolutely aren't. And yeah, we're going to head into the next game of this series with Paladin. They've got a massive task at hand here. You've got to bring it all the way back to Game 7 if you want to win this series from here. And Mistaken Dynasty, I've started to pick up the pace here, but let's see if they can finish things off. Let's see if they can close the deal here in 5 and, get a bit of an early night. They don't want to go to Champions Field. They don't want to go the distance. But one team with a marathon still to run and one team who are looking to complete that in a sprint. Let's go to Beckwith Park and find out if we're going to see some more Rocket League here or if 5 minutes is going to be all that these teams are destined for here today in the play-ins.
Yeah, Vulpes having one last chance. They have one life remaining in this upper bracket. But we'll be able to keep going. Senna finding a touch, able to get around Jo as well. So gonna try keep going downfield. Gets a dunk, but it honestly favors Mistaken. So Elusive, no touch means that ball doesn't get cleared away. Jo finding one, trying to get into the pass midfield. Blizzy does well to push it away from him. Francis getting the cutout, getting the touch, getting a demo. So now can he find the pass as well? Gets over one, and Jo not able to position himself correctly in time, but will be able to keep the pressure alive as it does finally escape the blue half. Senna trying to get the flick, but it's a good save coming through from Buddha. Blizzy just gonna try turn on this one. Takes the catch, trying to find the flick. It goes downfield the other end, and Elusive beating the last back, takes the catch, goes forward. Can he do something himself this time? We've seen incredible antics from Jo, but so far everyone on Vulpes hasn't been able to match it. And we'll have to see, can they finally find an answer?
Francis trying to get that one in field. It will be over to Butter. Bats it down. Will be Elusive who rises to the occasion. J-Ho just going to catch this one. Get that one past Sen. Blizzy through that corner. Tap it up. Sen looking for the infield, over to Elusive, who taps it to the back wall, looks to follow up his own touch, down again with the triple tap, but can't quite do it. Kept out there and sent away by Mistaken Dynasty, who are now going to look to play off the back of this counter-attack, but both teams scrapping, both teams want it. Who wants it more?
Yeah, so far it's just not been Palada's day in terms of offense. They've had so many opportunities like that where it's just ping-ponging around the place, and Buddha not able to find the target this time. The 50 from Francis goes all the way down back into the blue corner. Buddha trying to find a pass midfield. Blizzy does well to cut it out. Elusive trying to find one to Senna as well, but it will get 50'd away, and Buddha can keep this ball in the blue third, keeping the pressure alive. Jo is there. There's a bump on the back end, but Blizzy does well. And so far, they are surviving on defense. They aren't necessarily doing too much to get out, but they're doing enough to stay alive. And that is something they need to do.
It absolutely is. And they've got to try and pick up some goals here, both sides. More so for Palada, and maybe this is where they do it. Caught there by Francis, though. Looks to try and musty this one out of the danger zone. And it will be cleared away there. Over to this side wall. Bump found. This is good for Mistaken Dynasty. They've got a little bit of time and a little bit of space to advance down the field. The defense a little bit chopped up. But Blizzy, ball on top of his car, threatening Jeho, playing that 50, looking to force it through. But knocked out there by Buddha, who looks to just get this one going again for Mistaken Dynasty. And, well, here's Francis from above as well. A minute 40 left on this clock. No goals for either side, Tez. Who's going to break that deadlock? Is it Buddha? Yes, it is.
Mistaken look to be on their way to that upper bracket on the playoff day. And a great shot from Buddha gives Dynasty the lead. They are hoping to hold on to this one. A 1-goal difference is all that's in it right now in this game. And Francis looking to find a way to double that one. It's off the post, and Blizzy just about able to get it away. But gonna try and fake out Elusive. Does enough to slow him down anyway. So Francis can collect, trying to find the flick over Senna. Not able to this time. And Blizzy finding the touch downfield. Jo able to just try pinch it off of the corner. It doesn't go exactly how we would have wanted. The bump came through, but the shot was off target. So Vulpes not able to find an answer once again. The offense just has not been there today. And Senna taking the catch will have to 50 Francis. It goes back in the blue half. Jo getting one touch, trying to get that downfield. Elusive trying to put a shot on target. Blizzy was there as well, but couldn't turn it home. So Jo can go downfield once more. Francis pushing that to the center of the pitch. Finds the shot over two. And you have to think that is the nail in the coffin. That is what sends Vulpes Palada to the lower bracket.
It certainly looks like that's going to be the case. That's going to be the sealing moment there for Dynasty. To win them this series. To send them forward to Saturday with that extra life. And Palada have got everything to do and no time to do it. Sideball touch down over to Buddha, but easily tapped away. And all Palada can do is try and scrap around for some possession. They won't even get that. It's been a masterful mow down from this Mistaken team. And Dynasty, well, by name and by nature, is what they're looking to etch by the end of Saturday. Still a long way away, but a great setup and a great finish from Francis. Dynasty destruction here in the play-ins. And my word, what a way to finish things here, Tez.
Yes, it is. They have had no mistakes this series. A little blip in the first game, but it did not matter in the end. And Vulpes Palada go down to the lower bracket. Mistaken do continue that run, and they are hoping that they can make sure that they find their way through and maybe go all the way.
That's what they're going to have to do. That's what they're going to have to sort of approach things with now. They will earn a match with DSQ Canaans to kick off the Saturday championship day. And That's not going to be an easy match facing a team that went 10-0 and, you know, well, pretty favoured to go on and win the whole thing, I believe. But that's what they're going to have to do for now, though. Let's take a look at your post-series stats. Let's take a look at all the information of what happened in this series here, because what a series it was. I know Mistaken started to pull away towards the end there, Tez, but for, you know, a good majority, quite an impressive battle between the two.
Yeah, the wins don't give it justice. A 4-1 series scoreline, but it was a lot closer than it showed. You could see even only 5 goals separated the two teams. Vulpes ended up having so many more. They had about 15, 16 more shots. But the saves were just so much better from Mistaken. They made sure that whatever came their way, they got out. And Vulpes just couldn't do the same.
Yeah, they absolutely couldn't. It's time to take a look at your series MVP for this series, though, because a lot of players stepped up, but Jeho stepped up to a level that, you know, it would feel rude not to give him the series MVP for this one, right? I mean, what a series, and the young man on Mistaken here, who has, you know, really had a great series there to launch them through the upper bracket. Massive shout out to him, but the entire team as well coming alive to make that happen. Mistaken Dynasty power through the upper bracket alongside Dexterity Qantas, who did the same in the lowers as well. A wonderful day of action here in your play-ins. And look at how this sets things up here for this side of the bracket, right? You've got Cadence versus Dynasty here to kick things off. Qantas versus Palada. And, well, we've still got more matches to decide tomorrow in our second day of play-ins. Zippy needs an opponent in that upper bracket. And, well, we've got a lower match to sort out as well, don't we?
Yeah, we do indeed 2 lower brackets still to go. Another upper bracket game left. 3 more spots. Well, sorry, I say 3 more. 2 more winner spots anyway, to decide, and it looks like it will be a good day of Rocket League once again tomorrow. And thank you so much for joining me, Hodge. It was a lovely time. Thank you to all of our sponsors as well: Badass Studios, SpartanWare, trophi.ai, HOUSEWORK, who helped us with our new website, and don't forget to use rsc-eu in the Epic Store. And thank you, Stingray, as well, for all of the production. It's been such a wonderful night. And thank you, everyone, for coming along and watching with us. Have a lovely night, and we'll chat to you all tomorrow. Have a good one.
This isn't just merch. It's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. We're the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
This is trophi.ai, an AI Rocket League coach, and it's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. If you've ever heard of ballchasing.com, it's a lot like that, but on steroids.
You can press P and a pro demo will come up, and this is what's so cool and so unique about Trophi, is that this is not seen anywhere else, and it's just a great way to kind of show you how to do a training pack without having to side by side watch a YouTube video.
And this is actually really cool. Training paths.